And you have yours connected to your stream?
I couldn't. I didn't know how to do it.
It should be maybe at the top. You should probably be able to see maybe me, and then you should be able to see like your whatever you want to stream on.
Girl, we live. No. Uh,
We
at
are
the,
live.
you talk about over here. We should talk about it earlier.
I know. I just like it to myself. Uh-oh. What happened? Okay, give us a second. We got some technical difficulties, y'all. Got some technical difficulties. I have a guest joining me so we can review Love and Marriage Huntsville Reunion Part 2. Let me see. So I'm gonna give Word on the Curb a minute to get back in. Okay, there you go.
I don't know what.
All right.
I don't know how to do it. So.
Okay, well we'll figure it out on the next one. Because that was something that I had messed up on my first time too. What am I looking for? Okay, it must not be up here no more. Damn. Trying to see if I could get a little light. Let me see.
Girl, that's what I'm trying to make sure my lighting is adjusted right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here.
Okay, this might work.
You're on the
Hope
show.
it's good and charged. Okay, that's better. That's better. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Yay.
Okay.
Hey. Well, welcome, guys. This is your girl, Brandy Janae, and we are doing our weekly recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville Reunion Part 2. I have a special guest with me for this review, and that's Word on the Curb, Miss Angela, right?
Woo, yes.
Hey, welcome, Angela. Welcome. Um, Make sure you subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Word on the Curb's channel, and make sure you hit that bell notification so you can be notified whenever we do drop a new video or go live again. And you can be notified so you can join the lives, okay? So we're getting into Love and Marriage Huntsville Reunion Part 2. And we open up with the continuation of Mel and Kimmy going back and forth about Mel's comments referring to Maurice's DUI. And Kimmy is very upset with Mel from what we can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she got a lot of smoke for Mel, which I was really surprised at that, to be quite honest. Um, I like Kimmy. Kimmy is one of my favorites out of the cast. She has been a long time favorite of mine. Um, and she's a favorite of mine just because I generally think of her as an even keel person. I like the way that she communicates. She seemed to communicate very well. I admire the way she communicates. It's we don't see her really getting worked up. And so she can get a point across. And again, I kind of admire that. I think that's because sometimes I can let my emotions take the best of me. And I might not always be able to get my message across. And so I admire seeing somebody who's able to communicate a little better. But for this part of the reunion, I was really just surprised that she had the type of smoke she had for Mel, and it felt out of place and it felt off balance. Do you think that she was warranted to feel the way she did, as Mel was concerned?
I think so. I think, okay, I think, first of all, I think they all knew that Mel was not coming back. That's the way I feel. They knew, and she was like, because at the beginning of reunion one, when they were all getting ready, she was like, she was coming for all of them. It seems like the only person we heard her say, so far is Mel. But I think to insinuate and go around to each person that he had lipstick on his lip, had lipstick on his collar, and then when she said that she had asked her up front about the situation, and then whatever Mel said, I felt like Mel was talking in circles. She wasn't ready. I think she probably was ready for for Martell, but she wasn't ready for Kimmy. And I feel like that Kimmy maybe felt like she had to work. That's it. And I mean, it's supposed to be entertaining, and I don't know. But she talked about how they had to have their gathering sessions, whatever Mel wanted to have them. But when they have an issue with Mel, then she don't want to talk about it, basically. So,
do you see that as accurate?
I feel like Mel, yes. I think she could be very condescending, and I think she has this personality where she's feel like she's kind of godlike almost, or I can say this or do that, but if somebody say this or do that to me, I have an issue, but you shouldn't have an issue. So that's kind of how I kind of feel about Melody. I mean, yeah, I like all of them. I don't dislike anybody on the cast, but I feel like Melody has a bit of that, you do as I say, but not as I do. And then when they come,
well, go ahead.
so then when they come for her with the smoke, then she has an issue. That's how I kind of think a little bit.
I think, I hear that, and I'm open to that point of view, but I think I find that Mel and Martell their situation had been pushed to the forefront of this show for quite a few seasons. I think Mel was actively working to separate that, right? To not make her and him be this focal point of their seasons. And in my opinion, she seemed to have a lot of trouble with that because her castmates seemed to like to fodder around in what was happening. So in Mel's small defense, it's just a small defense, because I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was okay to discuss Ariane. They when they say her name, they beep it out. It was okay to discuss how long it may have taken Mel, like how long she knew and all, those things. So with that being said, now that it's turned around and this is presented for your, from your point of view, why wouldn't it be okay for me to bring it to you? Because we've had some conversations on film with you asking me things like she asked her, was Martell really having another baby? Mel answered. She didn't tell her she didn't want to talk about it. The only things I do specifically remember Mel really shutting down was discussion about her and Martell, because she needed to create boundaries with Martell. And so it seemed that if they wasn't discussing her, then nothing was really being discussed. Now we did get Kiki in, rest in peace, Kiki, because that's another point we're gonna bring up is them not really acknowledging Kiki and her passing. And in my opinion, it seems that way. But like they entered her in so that there was some drama between her and Tisha. And then of course we got Stormy and Destiny, but then they made up, and that was Stormy and Mel. It seemed like, one thing I say, I think I said this to you, all shows have a queen bee. whether
Mhm.
they are self-proclaimed queen bees or the cast has catapulted this person as a queen bee. But most shows have a queen bee. Mel seemed to be the one in that role. I think once everybody really started to pick up on it, I feel like people was bothered. And so it seemed a little personal.
Well, I think they already knew she was, because her and Martell was the one who presented this to Carlos King.
That's
So
right. That's right.
so they would. I mean, then she and Martell are the ones who got the other cast members on. It wasn't like Carlos
That's
wouldn't pick
right.
them out.
That's right.
So then she
Mm-hmm.
would be considered the queen bee. My only thing is that if you're gonna gather me up, then when it comes time for me to say something that I didn't like that you did, don't shut down and like I don't want to talk about it. You know.
Okay.
Um,
Now let's well, because I feel like Kimmy did that.
mm-hmm,
I do. I feel like that was Kimmy. I feel like Kimmy shut the conversation down. She shut it down with Mel. She shut it down with Tisha. And so to that extent, we never heard any more about it. Now this happens off camera, and it's the good and bad thing about Carlos's cast, because I don't know what the difference in their contracts are where Bravo is concerned and where Carlo Kingdom Reign is concerned, like what the major difference is. But there is some major difference because you don't see the housewives going live telling anything, right? And
mm-hmm.
if they do, they have backlash about it. So it's got to be something that's written in their contracts about that. Going back to Mel's timing about quitting, it kind of seemed like she waited until she was contractually not obligated and anymore to keep it to
Mm-hmm.
herself. Um, but like I said, to that point, the cast members do get on and they, feed whatever truth it is that they have to get out. So during that last live that Mel had, she said that her and Kimmy had a conversation. She kind of showed, like her phone record to say they
Yeah.
talked 21 minutes after that meeting we saw. And in that conversation, now again, it's not on film. We can only take her word for it, but it seemed to make sense to me because I'm all about if it makes sense. When something doesn't make sense, then I know I'm missing something, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like, man, well, if the dots are not adding up, then something being left out. So in that live, she said they had that 21-minute conversation. Kimmy expressed that she didn't want to talk about it, which I think that kind of is more common on shows than we know, especially shows where there is some prior relationship between cast members. I think they do have some sort of pact about protecting each other and what they will talk about and won't talk about, to a certain extent. So it seemed to me that Mel absolutely left it alone, which is we heard her say that on the reunion. And it seemed to have been true because we didn't necessarily I can't remember when she was talking about it with the girl, Dr. Sharita, or what her name is. But I can't remember if that was before or after the meeting with Kimmy. But it did appear to me because it didn't come up again. And so it appeared to me that everybody respected her wishes. And I guess what get confusing and go back to the time frame is that all of this time passes, and once you get to the reunion, you may have gotten over something, but because you have to rehash it out again, it has to come up again. So that's probably closer to the reason why it feels a little off balance for Kimmy to have that type of energy. And probably just me personally, I'm not used to seeing her with that type of energy. So it was just a little, like, you feel like you come barking up the wrong tree a little bit.
I think what her and Melody talked about, but then once she talked to Melody, didn't Melody go over to Tisha and was bringing up I think the thing, it was not really the DUI, but the insinuation that he was messing around.
It is. Now I think that was the biggest issue. I do think that Mel had presented herself after her divorce with Martell. she absolutely has presented herself as the type of woman that pretty much is waiting on every man to come out with, cheating. And maybe that's true for a lot of women. You have a lot of women that kind of say that all men cheat. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so I can agree with that part. And I think I agree with the part that you say maybe that's what Kimmy's focus was on, is that you really are insinuating that he was with somebody else. Just kind of going back to their explanation in that first reunion, Maurice and Kimmy, it just seemed odd to me that even during the filming, why wouldn't you have just said we were together? Like, I don't know. I didn't really understand what the point in some of this information that really it wouldn't have made a difference to his case one way or the other, but it absolutely would have said something to the viewers, like that y'all was out together. Like, it just would have squashed all of that extra talk. So some stuff I think people have to take their own responsibility for,
Yeah, because
because
it do seem like he was out doing whatever he was doing, and and not to
but
be.
they
That's
claim
why.
they was together. They claim they left together. They
Yeah, they
claim
left
they left in
together.
separate
Yeah,
separate
vehicles.
cars.
But after a certain time, that's why Carlos King had asked, "Where were you at from 4 to 12?"
Now let me ask you this. Have you ever been arrested before?
No.
So what I'll say is, because I've been arrested at least once, even though it wasn't for a DUI or anything. But at the same time, and I've known people who've gotten arrested, right? Like in this frame of um you call and you say, because for the most part it was like for a suspended license or something. But you call and like, okay, well, they're about to arrest me, and I'll call you once I get booked or whatever. That time frame is a long time. It's at least 2 or 3 hours. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So I was kind of thinking, like, because that's what was murky, is the time schedule, that time
Mhm.
lapse. And it's like,
He said
well,
he
if
was
they pulled
traveling.
over at about 4, it might be reasonable that he actually wasn't able to call, because they won't let you necessarily call anybody until you're booked and put in wherever it is that they hold in the people.
Hmm.
Um, so depending on what was going on, I ain't never been in Huntsville. I don't know what that's like, but I'm saying, there is a healthy, lengthy amount of time that can pass. So again, I just don't know why they wasn't a little more forthcoming with this time schedule, because I think the time lapse is what leaves everybody like questioning what
Yeah.
happened and what was really going on. So from that we get right into Destiny, right?
No, they we have Nell was talking a little bit because
Oh yeah.
because Melody was talking about the different conversations she's had with the women, and she's even mentioned about her and Nell, and then Nell goes through her whole thing where
Right,
she's
honey,
still
because that Nell
grieving.
is upset about not being a mentor. Now, listen, whoever joins in, jump in the comments. Let us know if you agree if Nell was a mentor to Melody, and if she is right to feel some type of way about Melody not agreeing with that sentence. I don't personally agree with it. Nell seems to really be upset about it though, which I think for that we can just go ahead and give her, fine, you mentored Mel, you know what I mean?
Melody said
like
her
like
feelings are her
fine.
feelings.
Yeah, but I'm keep questioning myself about, is she referencing being a mentor because of the age proximity? Because for me, I just thought y'all were friends, and maybe you gave her some type of counsel, you know what I mean? Because she was going through stuff, you talking to her, you having, meetings with her and Martell. Even with that scene where she threw the glass, like I didn't look at that as a mentoring session. I don't, I just didn't. And so when she said the word mentor, I was a little taken aback because I'm thinking, well, what did you mentor her in? Because for me, mentoring is teaching somebody something.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's too far. But then I said, but Nell seems to really, really want to hold on to that title. So I was wondering if it's more about whatever age gap they have. And feeling like because she's older.
But Nell is not. I mean, well, she's not as old as we think
Well,
she
she's
is.
older than Mel. Hmm?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
because I was
mean,
looking
and
at
I would have to give them at least 10 to 15 years.
how old is Melody? 40?
I would think Melody, I'm 44. I believe Melody might be younger than me.
Yeah, because the reason why I said because when they had that scene where they went to her mother's gravesite, and one thing I noticed because like she died on my birthday, which is September 4th.
Okay.
But I noticed that Nell's mother was either born the same year as my dad or a year
Mm-hmm.
after. I'm like, wait a minute. Because my dad was 20 when he had me. So,
Okay.
okay. So I'm like, so Nell, because when Tisha thinking that Nell was about 60.
Mm-hmm.
So, and her mother's been dead a while. So she would only be, if she was living, about 72 years old. As I know her mama ain't
Mm-hmm.
12 years older than her.
Okay. Right. Right.
So,
Okay.
so that's why I was thinking she got to be younger.
She's
Then
not
she
that
said her.
much younger. We'll give her 55.
I'm thinking 55, maybe, but she act
Okay.
old. But
Yeah. Like we'll give her
because
55. Like
did she say she was like 20 or 21 when she had her son?
I think she said 20.
Well, he only
And
33.
I believe she said 20 because that scene, it was a really sweet, touching scene for me. But when she broke down, and she was talking to her oldest son, Lance, she was saying that her mom had did a lot for him when she had him, and she had mentioned how scared she was, and she was glad she had her mom, and it really touched me because it just kind of reminded me. I don't think anybody ever really thinks about that or talks about that very often when you are. I mean, and I don't know what if there is an age that you are getting preparing to give birth to your first child and you're not afraid, right? You know what I mean? Because, but especially like I was 19 giving birth to my first son. And so like I said, she was either 19 or 20 because I remember kind of empathizing with that age and then kind of thinking back to some of the fears I had, going into becoming a mom myself. And so it really touched me because like I said, I don't think people really talk about that part a lot,
Uh-huh.
about two moms or becoming a new mom. And there is, so I was like, I had a bit of reverence because like my mom wasn't able to really be there for me in that same capacity. And like I said, and I just really remember like, geez. And I remember not even know, I never said it to anybody. That was the first time that the thought, you know what I mean, really kind of came like, yeah, I was really scared too, and
I was
I
too.
think a lot of people are. Right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I think a lot of people are, but it's such a go back to that like black woman thing too. It's such a thing that just gets passed over. I'm like, I said, yeah, you go have a baby and they just hand you the baby and you walk out, like, and go to your life. And it's like, well, what am I what am I supposed to
What's
do?
all to do? Yeah, but I think so. If we doing a math, she said he's 33 years old. So she was
Mm-hmm.
20 or 19. She's only like 53 or 52.
Okay.
Hell,
Well,
me and
we
Michelle the same age.
55. So yeah, okay. And okay, because it's not about what she looks like. I'm not trying to say of course she looks young, but yeah, for her to be married for 30 years, like you said, and have the kids, like you just really got to put two and two together. So clearly, and that's what I mean, like even so that's at least 13. That's what I said. We're gonna give her at least 10 to 15 years
Yeah.
older, than Mel. And so that's where I'm coming from. Did she maybe she felt like a mentor because of that age gap?
Oh,
Um Hi, Neil is 54. Okay. Thank you,
okay.
Somali Queen. We appreciate that. Yes, ma'am. Neil is 54. So we
Okay.
was rounding right in that circle. Like right in that circle. But yeah, but I do kind of think I just because again, I don't know what she's talking about. Now, what I do think pisses people off about Mel, and I guess because I can be a little dusty. Oh God, not dusty, child. We gonna get to dusty.
Yes, I got that written down. I got it written down, girl. It's May 1st.
May
It's her
1st.
birthday. May 1st, in 1982.
Okay, 82. Right. They just was
Mhm.
telling us the birthday over on Campfire's Live when I was on. Like and funny thing. So hold on. Let's wrap up Neil so we can get on to Miss Nancy. Um but back to Neil and back to just holding on to this thing. And what I feel like the people get mad at Mel about, and I kind of appreciate it because I don't know if I always blame it on being a Gemini, like because I have two sides, which is it's a nice nasty, you know what I mean? Like, and to that point, you decide what you're gonna get, like I return serve, you know what I mean? And so if you're nasty with me, you gonna get this nice nasty from back.
Uh-huh.
I think what they get mad about is they can't get under her skin. And she does have a little nice nasty way about her. Listen, and again, I love a good nice nasty person because it's not okay to just be nasty for the sake of being nasty. It's like I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to be nice to you, girl, but let me just give it to you. Let me just give it to you and raw. And I think Mel does that. And I think that is what really irritates her castmates. Okay, Somali says Melody was checked out, so she wasn't responding to the BS stories they were telling on that stage. That's correct. She very much did appear to be checked out at that reunion. And again, we did discuss that all of her posts, the writing was on the wall that she
Yes.
was not going to come back. So, what did you think about her? Do you think that that's the cast problem where which I guess they kind of said it when they did the break because she wasn't giving Nell what she wanted, Nell is still upset about it. And Marceau tried to explain to Mel during the break,
She
like,
wouldn't get her
hey,
gathering.
right, yeah, right, you wasn't taking your gather, okay, like who taught you the word gather? Who's telling you to gather the girls, honey? Okay. um,
No, but I think too that Miss Nell, because you remember Chris said, because she could have been at home while her mama was dying. I'm
see,
just
and I don't like that. See that I'm
that's
with Nell
craziness.
on that. Like I
She
will
said,
go
I
off
didn't
on a
ask her to come
person
in.
for that.
Yeah.
Huh?
She's like, I didn't never ask her to come.
Yeah, yeah, well, and it's not even, but see, this is what I'm gonna say. People get irritated with that too because you don't have to ask somebody like a friend. You shouldn't have to necessarily ask to be there for you. And I do understand that if somebody is there for you, they may not share everything that they going on. She said that's a damn lie. The timeline doesn't fit. um, but and so here's what I'm not okay with. Don't try to put me in a corner and blame something about a decision you made and blame it on me. That is gaslighting. You know what I mean? Like it's unfortunate that her mom was sick during that time. Who would know besides you that she's on her deathbed? So I'm really kind of questioning you know what I mean, more than anything, because what do you mean you left your mom on her deathbed to go be with Mel? Mel was going
Exactly.
through a divorce. Like it doesn't even feel balanced enough to
Yeah.
why you would have left your mom to go sit with Mel. You get you know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. She said her mom died in late 2019. Okay. And Melody was pregnant with Sugar Mama.
Mm-hmm.
I think she did. We all kind of found that out. But that again, the timeline doesn't meet. You know, the time what we can agree with is they have a friendship. And of course, Nell, we saw that in person. So Nell had to be somebody, a confidant. That's probably a better word
Yes.
outside of mentor.
Yeah,
Um,
sounding board.
right. But yeah, but the whole I wasn't there for my mom and now she passed. Like, no, you grieving. I agree with one lady I saw. That lady is still grieving because you just have your own guilt. And maybe that came from what I feel like with my stepdad, he passed in 2020, and it was something that while he had been sick, right? I had no knowledge of just how sick.
Okay.
So and so even though it was 2020 and during the pandemic, we couldn't go visit anyhow. But it was just that little bit of, well, dang, I wish I would have known just how sick, you know what I mean, he was, because I would have done more. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have any guilt for me, but I'm feeling like that's what Nell is dealing with. It's just more guilt. And maybe just as the child, maybe she just didn't let those things like add up in her head. Like maybe
Mhm.
she just felt like her mom would always be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how she would get back. I mean, and like I said, because I don't know if you have experienced any loss with your parents, but it wasn't until then that I think as a kid you kind of just do that. You know what I mean? Like I said, unless there is something that you physically watching a person just ail. Um,
Uh-huh.
and you are seeing this, but other than that, like you probably just feel like, oh, they're gonna get better, you know what I mean? You don't
Mm-hmm.
really imagine the time frame that they won't, and they won't
Yeah.
be there,
Uh-huh.
let's see. She said, this is my theory. They all had to sit down and discuss their strategy for the reunion. And the conclusion was, let's make up lies about Melody and make her look bad. Starting with Kimmy. Well, I could say that they definitely probably got some sort
Search
of strategy
strategy. Yeah.
together. But I actually, I don't think that they want to hate Mel. I don't think they want Mel to look bad. I do think they get bothered by Mel's like air. You know what I mean? Like her, kind of above it all type
Yeah.
of approach. Um, but I do think that they have a loyalty that is outside of what we see. I do believe that.
But Nell still says that she has a soft spot in her heart for Mel.
Of course she does.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mel is sweet. And I think she's smart. And I think you would
Right.
be a fool to not want to have some sort of relationship with somebody who is moving and shaking in the way that they, are. You'd be a fool to I think you'd be a fool. That is somebody you kind of want to keep on your side. I have watched the Philo version of the reunion. We was on Kempire and there was this discussion. Okay, because when we get to Destiny, we're gonna discuss what should have been shown and what got cut out. Because
Oh,
there
so
was much
Philo doesn't
shown
extend
to
it?
us during like the what you call it previews,
Uh-huh.
right? And then there's a synopsis, but we also know that Mel went in about that on her live. And so anyway, going back to Kempire's live, there were some people that were saying like, oh, well, Philo showed certain things, but I watched Philo and I watched it live. I didn't even watch the replay. I watched both. I watched it live and then I watched the replay the following day today. And it was completely cut out. It was completely gone.
Oh, what
Um,
Destiny has said
right.
about
Yes.
the grooming.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I do think I feel like Mel probably sent a cease and desist,
Yeah.
or it got or that live she did where because she was using legal terms
Yes,
and
I thought she was going to sue somebody.
talking about defamation.
Mm-hmm.
And she was right in what she was talking about, because using words like that is like what they call them, they like trigger words, you know
Yes.
what I mean? And so yeah, I think they cut that out because Mel ain't playing with them when it comes to
It
that.
seems like Destiny always does that when she even said that Mel's mother was pimping her or something.
Yeah,
Like
let me
what?
see. She said, then why would you think they don't hate Melody? Like I say, I don't think it's a hate. Like I think they are okay with letting Mel go off and do her thing. I think they realize the same thing we realize is Mel is over it. She not, before we even got to Mel doing her announcement, um I told my mom, in the conversation we had, I was explaining to her that I don't even know what it looks like for Mel to come back another season. She not, her and Tisha are not friendly, so they're not going to film with each other. Her and Kimmy are just cordial, but Kimmy is Tisha's family, so it's only so much that she gonna film with or even confide in her about. And so at that, and Trish, honey, we can just throw her in the trash.
And,
It's
and
so hmm.
yes, because that's the same thing that Dr. Heavenly was saying on the Messy Mondays with Carlos. She said, because she said basically that Mel is not friends with none of those girls.
Yeah,
Those
she
are,
don't have anybody to film with.
yeah,
And
and those,
with any ensemble cast, that's death to an ensemble cast. You have to be able to film with somebody. Here's another thing I tell my mom all the time, and I'm sorry to cut in, but the thing about these storylines, right? And the thing about like even Maurice with the lipstick on his shirt, and go all the way back to the beginning of the season with Martell being arrested, and that was the start of the season. But what we noticed is that it never came up again, right? It was one person that talked about it. And when Kimmy shut it down about the DUI, about the lipstick, we never saw it again, right? Same thing with Martell. We saw him maybe talk to Destiny about it, I think.
and
But
Stormy.
Stormy, okay, but we never saw it again. An unwritten rule about reality TV and how storylines get picked up and go throughout the season, more than one person has to talk about it. So if you only have one person spewing out certain stuff and you can get another person to have conversation about it, you're not going to see it in throughout the season. And really, because it's just off balance, because we go back to the ensemble cast. You have to be able to discuss stuff with everybody. You have to be able to film with other people. So again, I didn't necessarily take that as them hating her. I think, and they should be. I think they feel grateful for Mel because they wouldn't be where they are without this. So again, I do think they have an unspoken respect at the very minimum for each other. Not they may not be friendly as they were anymore, but they have a respect for each other, and they had a respect for why they started this show. So I think what we saw was them being okay with Usher and Mel on out the door. I do. I think they just like, well, let her go ahead, you know what I mean, and do her thing. Yeah, and she should, as she should,
Exactly.
say that was malicious intent. I have it. Do you want it? Yes, yeah. And okay, sure. Look, I'll give me type in my email. You can email it. Okay, there we go. Um, so yeah, I don't mind watching that. I don't mind at all. So yeah, that's what I do think about that cast where it comes to Mel. But and so they would be crazy to not have some reverence for her, because again, they would nobody was seeking them out, for this show,
Yeah,
you know.
but I
They
think
got handpicked by a friend.
so. I guess when Dr. Hevling was speaking about it also, and she was saying, Carlos, y'all should get Mel her own show with her own friends. And she said, because those are Martell's friends' wives. And it just, you can see this season that she really just wasn't fooling with them at all.
And right, but
Because,
again, that go back to, we've seen her in these seasons do what she could to separate herself from Martell.
mm-hmm.
And so, and yeah, it came to, and Dr. Heavenly is right. They are Martell's friends. They all became couple friends because they were all in couples. And it's unfortunate when you see people go through their divorce and stuff, but unfortunately, you might have to pick a side.
Yeah.
And I do think, like I say, their loyalty was with Martell because maybe they've known him the longest, whatever. But it felt unbalanced to pick his side. But at the same time, he was falling apart at the seams, so he might have needed he needed the support anyway. Mel did not seem to. Let's just say it like it is.
Uh-huh.
All right, where we gonna move on to now? Are we getting
You
to Miss
said,
Dusty Destiny? I don't like
no,
calling
well,
that girl Dusty, but y'all done got me on it, honey. Like, Lord, I call him the lady Dusty.
so, so Mel, she thinks that, they all plan to gang up on her.
Hmm.
Call them the Martellometers.
And we agree.
And then so we on the Destiny now. And basically they were talking about how Kimmy was saying that Destiny didn't share. Then I don't think she shared. I've never seen the scene in her house. Have you?
No. And let's think about this. It took us 5 seasons to get a personal scene with her and her dad. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I like that scene, but go back to what I had told my mom. I said it took all this time to get that little bit out of her, and it was very little, like
Mm-hmm.
very little. That Destiny never had to come back at all for me. Oh, because that's LeBaric. That house was LeBaric's. Okay.
Okay.
And
She
she
still
been
living in
through
the
a lot.
Barrack
So
house?
maybe she was still homeless for a while.
She
She
was?
never wanted to be on the show. Huh?
You said she was homeless?
I said maybe,
Oh,
allegedly.
okay. I was like,
I'm
shoot,
just
wait a
saying
minute.
she was going through a lot financially. So you know what I mean? Like maybe it could have been LeBaric's house. He might, we do know when people go through their divorces, even as it gets settled, they'll have rules about, like, we don't see her son. So clearly there's a rule about, at least as far as I'm concerned, about him being on this show as well,
Mm-hmm.
from his dad, because again, you're not giving us anything. And I don't. So let's go here. I know on Kempire there was a lot of discussion about the way Carlos was speaking to Destiny. So it started off at the beginning when he was checking in on everybody. We know Destiny had the wardrobe malfunction, and I know she just wanted to kick herself in the tail when Sunny came out in red and she had on red too. Oh my
Yes.
God. I was like, why did nobody even tell her? I came out in a paper bag. Like, just probably had the same damn color on as that girl. But Carlos, he kind of gave her the eye, like, basically, like, this is the first time she was part of the main cast. And so he like, we got a, decision whether we can start with you or start without you. And
Mm-hmm.
so she like, well, the dress is on the way, and he kind of gave her the like, type of look. And I felt bad. I felt like a tiny, tiny bit bad for her in that scene, just because what I felt for her is that, damn, you just can't get right, just can't get it right, because, and it felt like like Murphy's law, everything that can go wrong will go wrong,
Right.
and poor thing. when she say like y'all always trying to peg me out as difficult, and here it is looking like you being difficult because you're not ready, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that one already. What you say, Child Carla? I'm gonna say he doesn't like her. I said he is over her BS, and so are we. So clearly, he did not ask her to come back on this show, and I guess that's proven by the fact that he called Sonny and Moses up at the same time. But let's see. She say, "Oh hi, Ashura." She say, "Child, Carlos doesn't like Destiny. He used her to give Sonny and Moses a storyline to come to the show, and he did that purposely." I agree. I agree. Yeah, he was straight playing in her face. No, and that's what I say. Clearly, he wasn't the one that wanted her back. And listen, she's not good TV. She's not good TV. Even without giving any of her personal story, she has zero.
Yes, and it seems like she was so desperate when they was on that girls' trip to be Melody's friend, and I'm just like,
Well, because you need something. You know what I mean? You need something.
I guess I couldn't be on TV because I mean it was just.
I probably couldn't either. To be quite honest.
I mean, the whole thing
Mhm.
was just. I'm like, girl, please, and Melody paying her dust, and I'm like, oh, girl, pull yourself together, because even when she was I think she was drunk, and she told Melody, "I love you," when she was
Mhm.
going, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, girl, and
Yeah.
then
But
and
can we
then
blame Mel? Let's think about a friendship though. Like go back to the fact how we left one season. When we came back, Destiny was pregnant when we left. We came back, she had given birth, but then it took us all the way to what, the end of that season or somehow, to find out that she actually was getting a divorce.
Mhm.
And at the same time, Mel is going through her things. So just friend to friend. If I'm sharing with you, you know, I would feel slighted if you felt like you couldn't share with me. And especially
Uh-huh.
we going through similar things at the same time. Destiny, clearly maybe the reason why she didn't share, she has a lot of trauma, it seems like.
Yeah.
And maybe, and so she said that she had healed. That's what she was saying, brought her back this season. And so she was ready. I don't know what she was ready for because we
A check.
still didn't get anything.
She was
We
ready for a
still
check.
didn't get anything. Well, we all are, okay? We all ready for a check.
That was
We
she was
all
ready
ready
for.
for a check. But yeah, you gave nothing at
Nothing.
all. And even with the Sonny and Moses thing, the whole thing was a disaster from my standpoint. The whole thing was a disaster. Let me
Yes.
see. Okay, Ashura says, I like Destiny. She's relatable to me, but I feel like Destiny doesn't know the people are laughing at her and not with her except Tisha. I think you're right.
Yeah, and
I
then
think you're right.
the point of her not even, I guess she don't want to say her age, and then when
But here we are again with another thing you won't give us, Destiny. All it really, like everything she did just really proved that. You know what I mean? I remember that first reunion. That's because they because their seasons are so extended, they
uh,
film one season and break it up like it's two seasons.
mm-hmm.
But so they only have a reunion every other season or so, looks like for us. And so the first one we got to see her, it came up about her not giving any personal story and that. And so she said her and Carlos don't like each other. That I'm being reminded because it was even then. And so she said, well, I filmed other things. It just wasn't shown. Yeah, but if it was boring, it was boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was about, but I don't, and I don't know who keeps trying to force her down our throat.
I don't know.
I wish they was.
I think Carlos thought it was so messy that Sonny married Moses, that
And
the contention between the two was gonna bring the ratings. The two women.
it was a
And
mess.
yes. And yeah, that's I mean, well, Sonny, she doesn't give anything. That's going over to not Sonny. I'm Destiny. Don't give anything. Let's talk about Sonny because
Okay, well, yes, because Sunny comes on right, because Destiny don't give nothing, so we ain't got much to talk about.
other than Miss Nail said, she said, I don't know her very well. They asked her which
And I
was
think
she
that's a problem for Miss Nell. You trying to date my
yeah.
son, you know what I mean? Like, and you won't even you. But listen, Nell just busts her out about her age and stuff. Poor thing. So I guess Destiny probably, like, maybe that's what's wrong with Destiny. Like I said, she got a lot of trauma, and so maybe she don't know who to trust, and so she don't like to, give out too much information. But it's just you can't be that private person on this particular type of platform. Like, you have to
Especially
do
if you're
that
getting
somewhere
arrested.
else. Exactly. Let's see what Ashura has to say. And that mess about them plotting to bring Sonny and Moses here, she definitely got that lie from Martell. That's why Carlos shut it down and told her we were bringing Sonny on the show. That's correct. That's correct. Now listen, this is the only thing I'm gonna give her when it came to that. Because again, I feel like between the both of them, between Sonny and Destiny, both of them look like fools. Nobody is better than the other one in this situation. The wife or otherwise, okay? Because that irritated me so much. She's like, I'm the wife. Girl, you got a loser. Like, what is going on here? Nobody wants that man.
I know that's right. Nobody but the man that he messing with in jail, allegedly.
That's what I said. He must got a husband or something, because you're not even gonna make me believe. Because I'm gonna tell you on her live, she gonna say, she like, yeah, well, he have, he in jail now, but this way, when he get out, he don't have to, he ain't got to report to no parole officer. He ain't got to do that. Girl, you is not finna get me to believe that somebody orchestrated their own entrance back into jail for the simple, because he wasn't going to be on papers either way once he completed his parole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or probation, whatever, whichever one it was, he wasn't going to have to do nothing else after that. But you're not going to convince me that going back to prison somehow makes that any better. You're not going to convince me of that. Now, that's what your slow tail is over there doing, talking to yourself, because you done married this loser within 90 days because you have low self-esteem, and you needed to prove to yourself that somehow you was better than all of these women you knew he was talking to. Because I'm only using her information. That I would, this is what you told us. So what you told us is you met a womanizer. He explained, he told you he was a womanizer. You felt special about that. So special, y'all decided that y'all would come on this show. Now he's on probation. He can't leave the state. That's not for him. That's for anybody on probation, right? You have to get permission if you want to go travel or do something, right? So, and on the reunion, she, goes into this.
Girl.
That stuff I don't like either. That's that ish I don't like. And that's why you look like a damn fool.
See the
damn fool.
Carlos said he's in the spirit of jail because she said he.
But he is the system is not built for anybody to be in it. And let me just get this off my chest real quick, because we're the only ones, us right here, we're the only ones that would use something that ain't for you, that gonna have you jammed up, that you know this, and yet somehow you walk right into it.
Girl,
see, that's not smart. Like, that's not intelligent.
No, because that's probably why he couldn't film with Destiny all them times, because he was on probation.
Thank you. And clearly he was a womanizer, so Destiny had him as a sneaky link. That's what, like I said, all you did was prove to me why we never did see him. And again, you're not making him look any better. So she said, well, they decided to come on the show because he wanted to protect her. Now, y'all jump down in the comments. I'm going to go back and read these other comments real quick. But y'all jump down in the comments. Did we see Moses protecting Sonny? Because I didn't see that.
No.
Point it out to me. I didn't see that.
He even insinuated that's Destiny would be the side chick.
But that's the other thing I didn't like about Sonny in that sense, because everything you was using as ammo towards Destiny was something this lying ass man told you.
Yeah.
This womanizing man told you. See, and I like, listen, y'all, I'm different. I'm cut from a different cloth, as they say. Can't no man get in my ear and talk crap to me about another female, especially not another female he done laid his black tail with. You can't come and talk crap to me about her, because I'm gonna look at you like, what the hell is wrong with you? Which is what, if Sonny had better self-esteem, that's what she would have done. But what he did, well, we know Sonny did, well, what we know Moses did, he found a come up with Sonny. And I do think they came on that show, maybe not on purpose, but y'all did come to antagonize her. Because if you wanted to go off and be married and happy and in your own bliss, then you would have done that in St. Louis.
Exactly.
Or if you want to move to Huntsville, you'd have quietly just crept your way on in Huntsville. Why are you on this show, Ike? Why?
Yeah. Why is she here? No reason.
And every time you and I like, even on her lives, she got her some supporters, but I be questioning the mental capacity of her supporters. I'm serious.
Moses seems slow too. God damn.
Clearly. You literally risked your freedom and squatted in a city you are not even from.
To get on the show to do what?
Get on the show so we can know your name? Because that's the other thing, for them to not come back the next season. Like, what was this for then?
Well, shoot, when he's supposed to get out?
That part I don't know. What y'all know about that? When is the jailbird getting out of jail this time? Do he got to serve 15 more years? Now let me stop. I know. I know.
They're not coming back because he's not out.
Sonny is free.
Yeah, but
Sonny can, if she wanted to film, she could film. She say in a few months. If Sonny wanted to film, she could film. And if she wanted to, she could be that damn fool for the man who he married. Because that's all, like, girl, I laughed so hard when she was on her live and she had the little scrolling banner about her Cash App. And I said, and this is the man that oh, I'm the wife, and you calling Destiny a side chick. And honey, you look like you the bottom B, because what are you doing, girl? Who wait till their 40s to go do this stuff? Then what she pissed me off the most too, when she was on that trip, and honey, they couldn't get out the airport good enough before she couldn't wait to tell somebody that she running around doing IVF. What is wrong with this girl?
Yeah.
And I noticed this how I'm gonna tell you Moses ain't ish, because even in the confessional about that baby, I listen and I pick up. My advice to y'all, Daynese men, listen to what they say, honey. Listen to what they say. Because he said, yeah, I told her if we're gonna do everything we can to make sure you have a baby. Not we.
Girl, he gonna be locked up.
Clearly, and probably again once he get out of this one. But I thought that was very interesting out of his own mouth.
Does he already have children?
He's telling, huh?
Does he already have children?
You know, I don't think so. No, he doesn't. Say, honey, they did all of this for a storyline, and it's clear that Sonny preggers. She got popped right away. She knew he was going to get in trouble for him traveling. She's a producer. Well, I don't know if she is or not, but her
I don't think
body
she
is
is.
not that great. She could have listen. What was the Spanx like? And see, and I don't even want to run this lady down like that.
Girl, no, no. Where was the Spanx when she was at Melody's thing in that pink?
Anywhere,
Girl.
anywhere. For you to have all of this, energy like you, Queen Bee, girl, go look in the mirror and get your together before you come trying to run me down about being a side chick. She is a mess. Like, Sunny is a mess. Sunny is a mess. I wish her nothing but success and luck in her future producer endeavors. Because we not no hater over here. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, honey. She is a mess. One girl, I saw somebody say, because when what is the last scene for the bachelorette party when she showed up and she kind of had all some smoke again for Destiny, and she, the girl said she think it was the hair, like she kind of got some little mojo because she had her hair done good. That was the best we ever saw her hair look.
Girl.
Even she looked a mess on that reunion stage. And I just, listen, I'm like I said, I don't even mean to run this girl down like that, but these are the thoughts that I had because I ran over to her Instagram page. And of course, as the reunion, when she knew her segment was coming up, she started posting her content about the reunion, her nails and this and that. And I was like, damn, you went through all of that and you still look a mess. Low budget, low vibrational.
Girl.
Maybe it's the whole story that adds to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe because nothing about anything you did to come in. And now, do y'all think that it was her introduction? Do you think that she was introduced to us wrong? Maybe if there was a better introduction, that we would have received her better. What do you think?
Girl, it was her introduction. I mean, because who does that? You come onto the show where you used to produce, where you were getting information about me. You've been places with me and him. And then you pretended you was cousins. And then y'all messing around and get married.
In 90 days.
Exactly. And then get mad when Destiny talking about it on the review. I'm like, really?
But here's what I thought about that. Who the hell was listening to Destiny's podcast?
Whoever.
That goes back again to YOLO self-esteem. Because if you knew that you was walking in the righteous of what you was doing, you would not have gave 2 F's about what she was on her Nobody podcast talking to whoever she was talking to about what you was doing. Because where's the lie?
The Maury Povich picture and law.
And she didn't want to admit that she did that with the intent. See, Sunny was nasty, and that go back. That's why I keep pointing out that she has low self-esteem, because I think us as women, we don't remind ourselves that the choices we make sometimes let us know how we feeling about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could go around with your head pumped up, head held high, like, yeah, she got some pretty thin hair.
Girl, with that red raincoat on she had at the at Stormy's thing.
Girl, that she got from Ross, honey. Like
she dressed like Sweet Tea.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. And I'm just running the girl down because you had a whole lot of energy to come in looking so low budget, honey. You should have had your together when you were stepping with this group and into where you came from. She say Sunny is very secure, beautiful, successful woman. See, that's what I'm saying, Miss Somali Queen, excuse me. But this
She
what I'm
can't be.
saying. This what I like as a one woman to another woman. You know what I'm saying to you is that you can portray yourself a particular way and you can put off what you want people to, accept about you. But the choices you make about your life tells a different story.
Exactly.
And
Especially
you
when
don't get to be 40. Listen, I'm 44. I ain't got no problem with y'all knowing my age because, baby, I worked hard to get here. So it's all good. But you don't get
52.
to be there and don't learn nothing.
Yes.
And smart women don't make the same mistakes twice. Intelligent women.
And then to get with a bum, a jailbird
That's my
bum,
point.
she
That's
cannot.
really what I'm saying.
She
Is
cannot
that
be secure.
that's the decision that she made in that the desperateness of the
Yes.
of the decision that she
What they
made.
say? She'll pick me.
Yeah, a pick me. Yes, yes. Like that was she made that move out of desperation.
Yes.
And probably whether it was her age, whether she, her clock and her biological clock is ticking, whatever it is going on, but that tells you what you know, how much you love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't wait till you 40 to go through this type of stuff. And
That's
trying to
true.
have a baby too. There's not anything smart about that decision. Sorry. Not sorry. Because that's just being like this is girl code putting you up
Mm-hmm.
on some game, right? Like, listen, no. We go out here choosing bums and stuff to marry and be with. You don't love yourself.
No. No.
She said, yeah, that was nasty work. Sunny still thinks she won, and that's the issue I have with her. Absolutely. Absolutely. Somali Queen say, I beg to differ. You can't choose whom you fall in love with. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be around it.
Yeah, like you
No.
that's an interesting way to put it. That because I think you do.
Because I'm
I
not
think
picking
you
that type of
do.
man.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, no, right. Like I'm with you. Like, yeah, no.
Ain't nothing
And I
about him
think you
sounds
do.
attractive.
I think you do make decisions about who you give yourself to. The thought that you will walk around this world and think that you don't. I'm sorry. Like I can't get with that, Miss Somali Queen, honey. But I
Mm-mm.
get it. I think what we're trying to do, and that's the thing, her getting married to Moses is secondary. I think for me, it was all of her energy and attitude with
Towards
her
Destiny.
coming in. I think if she could have been more humble, more graceful, if she just would have had a transparency about even acknowledging that this was a messy way to enter a marriage, I could have given her more grace about the decisions that she making. But because I'm the wife, she couldn't wait to get that up out of her mouth. That just let me know how desperate you are.
Because if
You
she
don't
was
even
so
need
secure,
you don't even need to say that.
yes. If
You
she was
don't
so
need to
secure,
remind why.
if she was so secure, she would have never came on the show.
I
Period.
agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm. I
I
wouldn't have came.
agree.
I would like forget that. What I need to come for? What?
And I feel like calling Destiny a side chick was a bit much because it seemed to me Destiny dodged the bullet. I hope now this is where I got to get on Destiny about. Like, I don't know why you don't recognize that. So you don't probably need to keep going back and forth with this lady either because she saved, she saved you. And I feel like he was her sneaky link, as we see again, because we would not have known Destiny was even dating Lance if Nell didn't throw it out
Put it
there.
out there. Mm-hmm.
And here we go again with Destiny not sharing anything. It all go back to the same thing. You know what I mean? Because we wouldn't have known that. Nell is the one that told that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but again, I like I said, I wish she would have recognized the fact that she dodged a bullet. And I do think he was her sneaky link. And again, we understand why he wasn't on the show with her, because he couldn't leave the state. I think that a person who cares about another person is not going to jeopardize your freedom that way.
Yeah.
That was the thirstiest move both of them could have made, especially pay attention that I call them squatters. They didn't squat in one particular home, they squatted in a whole entire city. That's a bit much. Those
It
are
is
far
a bit
limits.
much. And for what? Because I can't. What was her storyline though? What was the purpose of them coming to Huntsville?
The storyline for them was, as far as why they wanted to come to Huntsville, is because they heard it was an up and coming. We judgmental.
Yep. Yes.
Well, we judging her. Like, I'm usually pretty open, but listen, I am like, when I have something and that's the way I feel about it, that's how I feel. I usually won't take it back about that. And I don't mean to be judgmental, but we all judge, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? That's what this platform is for, so I can express it.
Right. That's why they call Destiny Dusty.
Right. Like, and I'm opposed to calling that girl Dusty, because that is mean. You know, but yes, the whole internet is calling this girl Dusty and not Destiny. You know, but we judgmental. Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Sunny. So the storyline when they came to Huntsville was basically they heard it was up and coming, and they thought it was a good place for them to move. Basically, Moses needs to get the hell out of St. Louis so he can stop getting in trouble, not realizing, going back to what I say about being smart, because you take you everywhere you go. So you can move wherever you want to. But if you are subject to breaking the law, then you're going to break it wherever you at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that neighborhoods, because I know they sat down and talked with Kimmy and Maurice during the season, and Moses tried to relate to both Maurice and Kimmy about where they're from, being Detroit and Baltimore. I'm from Chicago and Gary. And all of y'all on here got some type of story about being in, like a not that great neighborhood. And yes, some people don't make it, like we understand the statistics and the cycles, you know what I mean? But that go back to what I said at the top. We the only people I know. You can know all the tricks, you know all the traps, and you still walk right into them. That's not smart. So, like the reasons they had for wanting to move to Huntsville was fine enough with me. I just felt like coming on the show was a thirsty move.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and even though Sonny is holding on to the fact that they came on because Dusty, see how y'all got me getting ready to call that girl Dusty.
Dusty.
And but because she was talking about her on her live, they felt like they needed to come on and defend themselves. Nobody cared. And nobody cared. And I feel like their interest just really made them look bad. Except for the people who have a following them, that's Team Sunny. And again, I do question their mental capacity, because you must dilly dabble around with other people men and stuff too. Because I'm a one, like, look, I don't want you to come to me borrowed and stolen from somebody else. You know what I mean? I'm a queen, honey. Like, you need to know that when you walking in. So yeah, we gonna make sure, like, not none of my friend circle. Yeah, no.
Like Tisha said.
Yeah, exactly. She's no squatter. Okay, I'm just using that term lightly. Being facetious. Facetious. But if you think about what a squatter is, they were squatting.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's the reason why I use that term. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing that ain't gonna connect the dots, but connect those dots. Think of what a squatter is, and they were squatting in the city of Huntsville. Because
And
they
then
ain't there no more.
no. And then she tried it with Tisha, saying that Tisha had supposedly, allegedly messed with one of Marcel's friends.
Well, we know Martell brought that out, right?
Yeah.
So Sonny
And
went
that was
into
his friend, not Marcel's friend.
exactly. Well, it's a group of them.
Yeah, but it
So
was
they
his
all
friend in college.
right, exactly. Um, so going back to this Sunny deal, she claims that she got so much tea to spill and she waiting for her contract to be up so that she can spill it without any recourse. But I'm like, you last worked on the show in 2022. What tea you about to give us from 2022? It is 2025. And by the time you get ready to spill this tea, we're going to be going into 2026. Who the
Yeah.
hell still waiting on tea from 2022? Ariane filmed with them. No, duh. We all knew that. Nobody needed you to confirm that. Sunny is thirsty.
Yes, he is.
That's facts. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna always give you some facts. Marceau friend. Well, like we said, we think it start. So we know during the season, Martell he went haywire and said that Tisha slept with his boy while they was in college. Tisha seemed to confirm, which they were in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, again, you're not gonna give me to go judge somebody from something they did 20 years ago. And I mean, not something like you was a single girl, you know what I'm saying? Like having sex with whoever. Like that, it's a lot of college ladies going around doing that. You gonna bring it back up to somebody's face when they, you know what I mean, 20 years later? Like, this a low blow. Low blow. And again, thirsty Sunny, she taking it. Now we don't like Sunny. Look, she say, you don't know what she has. Plus producers talk all the time. I just thinking that it's just being reasonable. You don't have too much tea if you're not working on the show no more. You don't have now the behind the scenes that she could give us is she could give us processes. You know what I mean? She can talk about, like, I guess if they do refilm their scenes over and over again to get a certain scene, she can talk about those things. But I'm not really sure what other behind, unless she is going to speak specifically about this season. But even with that, I'm not sure what she's going to give because we might have seen her 5 times. But no, we don't like Sunny. Yeah. And we don't like Destiny either. Just, I mean, listen, all is fair in love and war over here. Mm-hmm. All is fair. And I just tell the truth. You know what I mean? And if I like somebody and if I'm being biased, you can count on me to let you know that. I'll let you know. For sure. I'm a Gemini and everybody can get it. Like everybody can get it.
So what do you think about we already talked about the fraternity. So let's go on over to Ken and Trisha.
Oh my God. Now, if y'all thought I don't like Sunny, honey, I don't like Trisha even more.
She got a problem with the truth.
She got a problem with the truth. She got a problem forming a sentence. She got a problem with them wigs.
Oh,
she, you know,
how dreadful. How dreadful.
Because that wig she had on during the girls' trip, I was like, who?
Girl. Who? Was that a crochet?
I don't know what that was, but whatever it was, we don't ever want to see it again. That synthetic hair. Like, we have come way too far in our weaves and our systems, crochet, braids, and otherwise. We have come very far.
Yes.
It ain't nowhere in the world. That was something I felt like I would have saw in my middle school when I was.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because I've been in my young 20s. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When we ain't know how to get the good hair, we was
Uh,
working with the hair, you know.
Girl, they was getting the crochets and looking like Rick James back then.
Okay, and girl, I love me a good crochet, honey. I hate it when the girls picked up on it because I like to do my own little thing, and
Uh,
I never forget because I'm not a gatekeeper, so I always would tell people like who did my hair or whatever. But my only thing was, don't go to my beautician and then get the very same hairstyle I got with the same color and everything. Can you think of your own thing?
Girl, I had someone to do that before, but mine
Yeah.
it was a haircut. And back when I was in school, the Nita Baker style, or what people think of Holly Berry, well, that was a haircut I got. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I had nice hair, so it was nice and thick. So a person got pissed off because they went to my beautician to get the same hairstyle
And it wasn't about the right.
because their hair wasn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes people think when they get in a hairstyle that they're gonna look a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not becoming on her.
Yeah. Poor baby, she should have had an original thought. But
Yeah, and she was pissed. I'm like,
I bet she was. Let's get into this damn Trish though. Listen, I say I like Carlos calling her out because she started off with this lame explanation about how she ended up not saying that she know Martell because she talking about this is all new to me. You know, I love Carlos coming in like what the
the
truth.
truth.
Really, that is all you had to say. You know, like I don't. I was confused with her. I watched an interview with her. That interview was exhausting. Okay, exhausting. Millie Chan deserves an award for even taking it that far.
She did
Um,
the same thing with Carlos and Dr. Heavenly when they interviewed her.
yeah, no, I mean, honey, I don't know how they didn't like just hang up, like forget it. Because again, so at first I thought that Trish, I thought that she may have been just nervous about being on camera, and I thought that's what we were seeing is like jitters and nerves. But the more I saw her and the more I saw her show up the same way, it's like, well, no, that's her. Even going down to the argument her and Ken had in the finale, you know, it's like you can't get, like I say, she doesn't seem to be able to form a complete sentence. You can't get an answer out of her about one thing. She is a classic gaslighter. She must get it from Marquez. Um, I'm just good because you know Drew was
Yeah.
like that with Ralph. Like, you know what I mean? They had this way of
Yeah.
gaslighting each other. You know what I mean? Like, and so I feel like that's what she still is in. Ken, listen, I said in my previous videos that Ken creeped me out. And he still do. The reason why he creeps me out is because of his thirst to want to
Yes.
be there with this lady, and this lady
Yes.
doesn't seem to really know um what she wants. And I'm surprised. I wonder if they're gonna bring it up in part 3. Nobody brought up the fact that she told her kids she wasn't getting married anytime soon. Cause she didn't, and then she changed it and cleaned it up to like, well, it's not gonna be uh not right now or something like that. But she hurried up and told them I'm not getting married anytime soon, which to me just says she's not ready. But Ken seems to like be pushing her, and that's weirding me out on his end because I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? I think that it's nice to see a good guy who just wants to be a good guy, but maybe you don't have to have something in return for it. I would rather see him be that. If
Uh-huh.
you're there to help her or whatever, you like her and you helping her with her kids, then do that. You know what I mean? But to do all of this pressuring, it's the same thing I said about Sonny. It's just he happens to be a male, but it's feeling like you got low self esteem, Ken.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not really understanding why. Because in this case, he does seem to have all of the attributes a woman would want. But somehow you pick this woman who is emotionally unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she is still tied to her husband, in more ways than just, the paper.
Yeah.
But like I say, the whole deal with him and with her and Martell, the way the information came out inch by inch. You let me tell it, she knew something about TV because you didn't give it all away right then. You know how to crumb feed very well. Seem to
But
pick up on that quite fine.
she could remember her line though.
Well, that might have been why, huh? That's what
I'm
it
like,
was.
I can't stand a bad liar. God, dog.
But I'm trying, and we still don't even know what exactly are they lying about. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all exactly lying about? I don't think that they slept together. Now, what do we think about? Because so we end the reunion with Carlos asking Trish a series of questions like, has Martell sent any like intimate pictures? Has she sent intimate pictures? Have they did he ask if they had sex? I think he
Yes.
did.
Uh-huh.
And it was something else I can't remember exactly, but he asked her the questions. It was no to everything. And then turn around and hear Martell gonna say, like, well, yeah, we did sleep together. And then he comes back talking about he just playing. Now Ken looked like he was he was ready to run across that stage and risk it all. Be over there sitting with Moses when it's all said and done. But can we talk about why is Martell so silly? And so with him throwing that out there, do anybody believe him?
I think he's trying to make good TV. That's it. I don't think he was the least bit interested in her once he seen her in person. She might have had on one of them blonde wigs when she came.
Everybody can't rock blind. I wish y'all could.
Yeah. A hot mess. I just don't think because he all but said it in one of the scenes before.
That's true. He absolutely did.
That she didn't, I guess, look like she looked on Instagram or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she had a filter on, but evidently I don't believe was his cup of tea.
It didn't seem to be either. I believe that. But why is he playing with that man? And that's another reason that make me look at Ken just with a little like side eye. You know what I mean? Like you asked this lady to not make a fool out of you, and baby, she is mopping the floor up with you.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think Ken wants to be on TV. That's what that
You're
is.
probably right about that.
He wants to be on TV because if he was so like how they ended that finale, then we find out he's filming again.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, gets in a fight because what do you have to fight with Marquez about?
Exactly. Those are his kids. You know what I mean? Like I said, he seems to have taken on the very role that Sonny was in with the, like wanting to pump himself up about what he doing. Like, cool. You know what I mean? Like, cause again, she's a single mom. He walked out. They both agree, like he went all off because he needed to find himself. And so the best thing that could come into Trish life is a man who is gonna come in and step up to the plate and help her. You know what I mean? But why you gotta throw it in this man's face? And I wonder if it's because, and maybe that is, Destiny kind of mentioned it to Sonny also. And I seem to have an opinion about that because I feel like it's similar to a personal situation I was in. But I tend to think people without kids do have a different way of viewing certain stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and because you don't have, because that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really not that important, Ken, for you to remind Marquez of the things he's not doing, X, Y, and Z. He knows that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even if you thought he didn't, whenever it comes time for him to come to that realization, like that's not your responsibility to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you there with Trish. Part of being with Trish is you gonna accept these kids, you know, like, and you gonna help out. But even as Trish, if I got to keep hearing you say it and stuff, I'm gonna kind of be like, take it and move around. You know what I mean? Like, cause don't keep reminding me that you're doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Or you ain't gotta remind him.
Because I'm pretty sure that Trish can take care of her kids by herself. She's an
I
engineer.
think so too. I agree. Like, don't put her out there like she's just some brokey.
Yeah. And plus, she really didn't want to do the show. He wanted to do the show. She said in the interview. So I think he just wanted to be on TV. And that's why we got that explosive scene from him at the end. Because somebody put a battery in his back.
Okay. Listen. Okay. Honey. Well, I'll tell you who put the battery in his back. Maurice and Marceau, when they were sitting at that doggone opening, and they was kind of telling him, like, dude, like, how many lies, like, how, you know, how much deceitfulness are you gonna have, you know, look over? You know, and I think rightfully so, but I think once those men start to kind of question him about some stuff, I think that really got under his skin. And so, yeah.
He can't be mad if she was messing around with Martell. She was not married to him. She was still married to Marquez.
It really is just the fact that if you got, now I'm with him on this thought. If you go have me around somebody that you done had that type of relationship with, you supposed to be the one to tell me. You're not supposed to let somebody, him come and tell me this one got something to say about it, that one got, and I don't know none of these people. You know what I'm saying? I know you, and for it to not come out of your mouth, that's kind of the problem. And that's what I mean, because like, we're not gonna, maybe it's not a lie, but being deceitful is close enough to lying. You know what I mean? So they are going to be on next season. I'm not looking for it. How y'all feel about Trish, Marquez, and Ken? Like, we ain't got much to choose from. So listen, I'm gonna watch the season next season, and I'll report on it. Like, but I ain't really sure what to look forward to or otherwise, because I'm not interested in Trish and Ken and this story. Like, I'm really not. And part of the reason why I'm not is because Trish is not interested, and she's not interesting.
So what do you think? So what do you think about the chance of Ariane coming in and filming?
Too little, too late. See, it's hard to be on a reality show and then you talk about filming the reality. And this girl has been in the background now. She has been a silent cast member. And I feel bad for her on that end, because you haven't had a chance to reap any benefit. You know what I'm saying, from it. But at this point in time, because it looks to me like Martell just keep making a fool out of her. And I don't think it'll get any better if she comes on the show. That whole YouTube video they call themselves doing was disastrous.
Yeah, it was. Because I was thinking to myself, his antics outside of the show is going to make it harder for him to film with the guys. And I thought that was just way too far, you know.
And it didn't work. On top of that, so you did all of that, and
because then, you know, somebody put out the pictures of her what the lady used to look like.
No, I didn't see that. What did she used to?
A lot better. Like one of them average video looking girls. You know,
that wasn't her. I don't even need to see the picture. That wasn't her.
They put the pictures of her out. And I guess this is what she's supposed to look like.
What, she been on drugs all this time or something? Because what like it made her? Because what would happen that would make her look so much different from that? You know what I mean? And real talk, they're like real talk. That's the reason why we don't believe that who showed up on that doggone screen is because. And then listen, and I'm not saying that men have such a high taste of quality when they running around in the streets. We all know that most of the time they fool our line with somebody who is way up under, you know what I mean, who they got already. So that we understand that, but I don't even know where they would have met. Even though she tried to explain it, and right now, I'm not recalling what it is she said. But
she was supposed to be one of those girls on that trip that the men went on. Remember when you was talking about the NDA?
Right. She was right. That's what they said on the interview that he flew her out to Vegas. We don't believe it though. Like the math wasn't mathing. And if they did have some picture of what she used to look like, I'm gonna tell you that it's AI formatted, like it's not her. Like I don't believe it.
Yeah, because she looked different. I mean,
I bet
the face looked the same, but she just looked unkept.
So that's what I mean. Like it's probably AI generated or something. Because like let's just be clear, the girl didn't look necessarily old. She just looked ran down. She looked low budget. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's just what I thought she looked like. But again, she just Marceau like Melody.
You think so?
I do.
Huh.
I do. And I think that like with Tisha, for the longest time he wanted Tisha to stay at home mom. And he always had that little like, I don't want her to turn into a male, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that the reason why we can see them, Tisha and Marceau, kind of have the type of bond, because not for nothing, whether we think Marceau cheating on her or not, they seem to have a functional marriage with each other. And the reason why we're able to see that, I think, is because Tisha is coming into her own male-like, personality with the businesses. I think when she got that hotel, I feel like he looked at her differently. Yeah. So I think I think he didn't want to admit it because he was more of a chauvinist at that point in time, that he just really wanted to keep her, you know what I'm saying?
And she was so insecure.
Right, but again, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but I think seeing her kind of get her dressed together, even though sometimes she get it wrong too, poor baby. But like she had on this outfit, the outfit that she put on for filming, it had all of like the top had the circles in it, the pants.
What she had on for the reunion was a mess with them damn stockings on. What the hell? I ain't seen nobody wear white stockings in a long time. She looked like she was getting ready to ice skate.
Come back, but you right. Like she was going to Easter Sunday.
Girl, she was getting ready to ice skate. That's what it looked like to me.
And it did. That's a good one too, ice skating. Lord, but I feel like that's part of why we see them have like they seem to be tighter now than they ever have been. So that's from a viewer. And I do think it's the proximity to her male-like persona.
Okay.
But if you ever noticed, like Marceau seems to, like I said, I know they had a little petty, arguments and stuff, but I think he, like I say, and maybe when I say like, I kind of did mean it in a crush-like type of way, you know what I mean? But I mean, at the very least, he has respect for Mel. Mm-hmm. At the very least, and he seems to give her that, most times. Yeah, like, he do his petty little stuff because he petty. I feel like he got a better reverence for her than he does Martell.
Yeah. but I wonder why. Like, I guess I wonder how this. I guess how did the whole thing start with him and Martell to get so ugly as it is gotten?
It started off with Martell yelling out that he
Had
has
the 20
seen these
girlfriends.
women, you had
Yeah,
seen his friends date at least 20,
girls.
20
Yeah.
girls.
So he
And
never let that go.
Martell said, who? And he said, you. And he said, I never cheated on my wife. Like,
Prove it.
and so from there, I feel like that was the first offense. And like I said, I think their loyalty, just because they started this together, they had an idea, and it took off. You know what I mean? I think they do have an unspoken loyalty to each other. So that's why we see them kind of had this banter of coming back together. Then Martell loses his shit and they back, mad at each other.
So do you think they're going to film together next year? I mean, next season?
Since it's interesting to find out if Martell is filming, because that was one of my questions. I think I put it on my video when I did the Melody announced her departure from the show. One of the questions I posed was, what will happen with Martell? Do we think, because Martell seems to be attached to Mel. He, like, even like this season we saw the cast, which is why we saw the divide the way it is, but we saw the cast give in to Mel and say, okay, like, you don't want to be in the same room with Martell, okay, right, we'll make sure it don't happen. Because up until that point they kept trying to force them, and it never worked out, well. So they give into it, and yet it's Martell that just has to keep something going. Even on the reunion stage, if you notice, he throw Mel in their face. You didn't say that to Mel, like. And I'm kind of like, Melody, sir, why are you saying my name? Like, we don't, you know what I mean? Like, we're not even friendly. Like, what? But he do that, you know what I mean? And because he does want to react, he's like a kid.
Yeah.
So it's him. So like I said, I'm curious to know if he's filming at all. Yeah. And maybe we might see him in some capacity because he is friends with Chris. He is doing real estate. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I don't know. And again, like, what is going on in his life? Is like, outside of him having a child with Ariane, is Ariane a part of his life? I know we see them on lives here and there. Then she get caught on a phone call interview, spewing out a lot of different stuff that sound like they not together. I don't really know. I can't say that I'm interested.
Me either. I don't want to see it.
I want to know. I felt like with the YouTube interview they did, call themselves having Marceau's mistress, I felt like that would have done better if they just would have talked about their stuff.
Yeah. I don't want to see her on there, honestly. So
I believe that Mel,
the message she wrote when Mel had announced.
What message did she write, girl?
She wrote that God darn it, something like the tables are turned and wait about you, the shit I had to eat. You're gonna have to do the same thing or something to that effect.
I remember seeing that. I forgot.
So I'm thinking that she was thinking that she's gonna be filming. I've heard she's filming, so I don't know.
Well, I did hear, like, in the scuttlebutt, that Kimmy is willing to film with the lady. I just don't know what it is that she has to bring at this point. It just feels so old.
Yeah. Well, I guess they say Martell will be filming his real life, and with, I guess, him, her, and the little boy, I guess.
Well, I guess that's what we'll see.
I don't want to see the side chick up there. And it would have been
interesting to me that she would even want to be there when in the finale of this show here 6 months, 7 months ago, it was filmed, a while ago, but it still would have to sting that
He don't claim her.
you are with, that you're with this person who is still in love with his ex-wife, like, and
Yes.
still yearning for that.
Yes, because if she would take him back,
he'd be there.
Yeah, he would. Because you see how at the beginning of the reunion, and they did all the flashbacks, and they said Martell was about to cry. I'm like, oh my God, you have to be a fool to mess up your family like that. And then
and he was. And he was. Poor thing.
And then to make a baby on top of it and flood all this stuff in this woman's face, and she had to go through it on TV because I couldn't have did that. No.
I'll be on somebody's investigation Discovery Channel, yes. Dateline or something. 2020. Like
well, they got Killer Wives or Snapped. You would have had me on there, but I'm like,
I so hate to say it. But you know what I realized, and it's funny, just even that with that story, and just even in real life, sometimes I go back to, we always tell ourselves that God doesn't give you more than what you can handle. And so I say that to say that might be why I've not experienced some things, because I feel like the capacity to which I would go, that's not what's meant for my life. You know what
I mean? Exactly. Because I'm like,
meant to be in jail. Yeah.
I said, Melanie was a good one.
I ain't meant to go visit one either. So like
Sunny.
Sunny, okay, like I was not born to go visit one either. Now, what I will tell a person is, I always say this, and I again use my own personal experiences. If young back in the day, you got one time. You get this some jail talk. You get one bid. You know what I mean? Like, but that back and forth, woo. Because like I tell people, like, you know how invasive it is to even go to a prison to go visit somebody. They rubbing all on you, telling you what you can and can't wear. Like, conversation,
feeling
like,
in your hair.
Yeah,
you had to go.
Like, yeah, who going to do that every damn week or month and all that? Like, no,
girl,
yeah, no, I got too much respect for myself. I'm sorry.
Yes, I remember they sent me and my mom away because I think they said we had like the wrong type of bra.
That's what I'm saying.
And we're trying to visit my brother. I'm like, what?
That's what I'm saying. Can tell you what you can and can't wear, turn you away because you got on something wrong, like cut your visit short if they feel like it. Like, oh no, it's hell. Like they say, you get one fucking time for me, honey, and that is it. Like,
yeah. So, but I think that's pretty much all, was it?
That's pretty much it. Like I say, it ended with Martell doing that classless, crass joke, towards him and Trish.
Girl,
Trish sitting there like a deer in headlights. She ain't got shit to say. I can't with her. I can't.
They should have ended it right there and then came back the next week and it started with that, because it'd have been more of a cliffhanger. Because
is a cliffhanger.
But no, he ended up saying he was playing.
Well, but we still ain't seen nobody, because that's what the last thing was. Carlos saying, like you said, if he was playing, he's like, well, Ken, did you find that funny? You know what I mean? And that's where we ended, because Ken like, no, and he looked like he was about to say some other stuff. So I think it is a good to be continued. But why we talking about it? Because we did just go right over it. We're going to go back a little bit and acknowledge the fact that they did cut out, again, they cut out whatever segment before Destiny.
Oh, about the grooming.
Insinuating that she could have had a threesome with Mel and Martell. I know on Mel's Live, like we discussed, she she was upset about that. She did not like that they coined that in the synopsis for the episode. She felt like it was irresponsible of the producers and whoever is in charge
Yeah.
for letting that go down. I would have to agree with her
Me too.
in that sense, you know, like, and maybe it could have been something that could have stayed in the show if they hadn't did that. But what I did notice is that the synopsis, it still had that verbiage. But they did not, like I said, they did not share that clip. And you know, and here's the thing, rightfully so when it comes down to Destiny, because I'm exhausted with Destiny anyway. But yeah, like, you got more smoke for what you got to say to, you know what I'm saying, Mel and this stuff, the whole you was trying to teach the girl how to respectfully cheat. It
Yes.
felt like the first season being regurgitated, you know, like out of Destiny's mouth. And again, and it felt like she was being Martell's mouthpiece about it. Because I thought nothing about what she said made sense. You know, of course, ain't nobody teaching somebody how to respectfully cheat. If you're gonna teach anybody how to respectfully cheat, it would be your own husband, not the person that he cheating with. Like, you know. So anyhow, so yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. What do you think about them cutting that out? Should they have left it in? Do you feel like there was any information that we could have gathered from that segment?
I think that was just Destiny trying to be salacious and using trigger words. Because when we think of grooming, we think of pedophiles.
That's correct.
So how was she grooming your grown ass to do a threesome? Because she always kept saying, insinuating for as long as I've seen her on TV that she could have had either one of them. And I'm like, what's this that she's trying to say something about male sexuality? Because if that was the thing that Mel and Martell did, I truly don't believe they would be separated.
I feel like they would have said it out their own mouth at this point. I don't think from everything that we had found out about their relationship, I don't think it took you, Destiny, to be the one, you know, like feeling like you're gonna out somebody. Yeah. And I do agree with you that grooming is a very interesting word choice. Because you're right. It's kind of like what they do with sex trafficking. Yeah. You know, like using that. You know what I mean? It's a very and I don't even know if I can say that on here. Sorry, I have to be careful. But it's one of them things that when you say it, it has a different connotation, even though you can use it in this broad way. But I agree, because say with adults, we might be talking, you might use that word to describe somebody with a higher position, you know what I mean, taking advantage of somebody in a lower position or place, which in any aspect of the word, it doesn't describe your relationship with them too. So if there was any conversation about it, nobody was trying to trick you into anything. You know, and it's got that nasty little aftertaste, like the Portia Candy Phaedra deal. You know what I mean? It's got that nasty little, you know, like what are you insinuating? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what are you saying? Because
the same as when she said her mother was pimping her.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, what? Because Mel gives her mother things that she's pimping her daughter out. Because
I didn't understand.
The kind of that would have made me think that she got Mel out here turning tricks for somebody.
Right. And but where does that come from? No, you know what I'm saying? Like,
she's speaking stuff that her mother did to her. Her mama was a crackhead or something.
Well, something, you're right. But look, we ain't get to know that because Destiny won't tell her own story. And like I said, I feel like that point is great that you made up, because Right. It's interesting that she used the word choices that she used. It's interesting that she insinuates the things that she do. And I have to agree with you. It would at least lead me to believe that you've had somebody in your life do that to you. And that's where those thoughts and ideas are coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, it's unfortunate that you won't share the real with us. We don't want to see it anymore. Attention on producers and whoever in charge of casting for Love and Marriage Huntsville. We don't need to see Destiny another season. We are done
It's a
with
no more
Destiny.
Dusty.
No more Dusty, okay? Dusty, get the broom out.
There was a Sandman from Apollo.
Sandman, yes, okay.
Bye bye, girl.
He come and shoo you off the stage. Yes, God, honey, please, please don't bring this lady back on my TV.
Cause
And
girl,
since you already got Trisha here, let me just put my bid in for the following season. She don't need to come back either. She don't need to come back either. We need people who are comfortable with being filmed. We need people who are okay with sharing their story or whatever version of their story they want to share, but they need to be able to share it.
and I need to see Black excellence.
And I agree with you. I think the whole thing with Mel and Martell, again, going back to social media, I think it's snowballed, right? And it just became larger than the show. That situation was something that really contributes to the success of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I think because people like drama,
Yeah,
and also not just that like drama, but I think the more thing about it, my mom was great at pointing this out, is when we see a group of cast like this, like them, especially being in Huntsville, Alabama. I, much like the Housewives, I was on Love and Marriage Huntsville from day one. And I loved it. I remember and my old YouTube page channel had gotten taken away, but I had reviews from way back then because I remember trying to tell people, especially with it being on, with it being Carlos King's second show, because I believe Bell Collective had premiered before Love and Marriage Huntsville. But I just was really proud of him, and I was proud of that, because it wasn't a Chicago, it wasn't a New York, it wasn't an Atlanta, it wasn't, it was Huntsville, Alabama. And who knew that Huntsville, Alabama kind of has what they have going on? I knew about Huntsville, Alabama because my son went to the space camp, there when he was in like 6th grade. But so to the cast point, they're right. Most people only knew Huntsville for the Rocket Center and for having the space camp there. And you really didn't know nothing else about it. So again, I was always attached to that, and I was always attached to that original comeback group, the idea that they wanted to build, and do that. I was attached to that because of course I'm a Housewives fanatic. And so Housewives is Housewives, and I don't really need a bunch of different shows that have the same housewife get up. You know what I mean? I like to have a little variety. And so Love and Marriage Huntsville gave that to me. And again, it allowed us to see us in a way that uplifted us. We have educated people, even I would love now, since we going into something like this in the next season, I would love to get to see that architect come back on a more full-time schedule. Now, Kimmy is friends with her, and so we see her here and there. Like I think we saw her when Kimmy was going through her cancer battle. Like she came over while Kimmy cut her hair. I can't remember what her name is right now. Andrea. But she's an architect that they use to help, design their homes and things. And, so it's a lot of Black excellence going on out in Alabama. And maybe that's because there ain't nothing else to do but go to school and and go work for the Rockets and be. That's the thing. When you talk about these black women being engineers, that's not something you see a lot of in those
No.
spaces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Because my uncle, he's an engineer. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't really see women in those spaces very often. And so yeah, I would love for us to get back to that, but like without, like I said, without not acknowledging that this show probably would not have reached the height that it did without the scandal.
Yeah.
And again, and so like I said, we are attached to it, not just because we like drama, but we see ourselves in these characters.
Yeah.
Like these are not the aspirational characters that, excuse me, that the housewives are, right? You know what I'm saying? Because most of the housewives have some sort of life that is a little bit out of reach for most of us fans. Like we're not married to, millionaires and billionaires and living these private jet type of lives. Maybe some of y'all are, but I'm not. And so so I do think that there's this nice attachment to that cast. And for those reasons, like they do have real problems like DUIs, and Destiny, got a case for fraud, which I'm pretty sure is some kind of weird thing that she probably used the ex-husband's name somewhere where she wasn't supposed to.
Okay.
I'm just making that up because I actually don't know what's because I ain't that interested in her that much. So I actually don't know what it is, but I'm saying, I'm just kind of being reasonable about it. Like I'm sure she hadn't really went and stole nobody's identity. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm almost sure that that's not the case, but I know that you can have fraud things for something very similar to fraud, but less than what the extreme is.
Yeah.
So I would like to see that too. Marceau got on his live. Him and Tisha got on the live a few weeks ago. They claim that we're gonna get back to it. They claim we're gonna see them go through counseling. They claim, maybe we'll get back to seeing them build. Maybe with Mel being out the picture, maybe they'll try to form a comeback group 2.0, because what we know for sure is that the Scotts can work together with, and it had always been Mel where the comeback group is concerned that just really wanted out and didn't want to, do anything else with them. So, like I said, maybe her exit does introduce a nice pivot to us going back to that original synopsis of the comeback group, and and building
Yeah.
property and businesses and being able to see them in some other lights, and then the life drama dropping in where it comes.
Yeah. Would you want to see Tiffany come back?
Oh my God, no. Oh God, no. Oh my God, no, no, no,
Oh
no.
my God, I can stand her.
Oh, me either. Oh my God. And I don't even know how she lasted for the season she did, because she was so annoying. And let
Yes,
me tell you,
Lord.
even with her and her husband storyline, like I could not believe we went through a whole season of him complaining about not getting enough sex, and she talking about she wanted to have a baby. I'm thinking, what are we talking about? Because it seemed like just go have sex. Like y'all can both solve each other's problems. You know what I mean? Like and then she had so much for everybody else that nobody
Girl.
her. She was just, oh my God. And then for it to all end with her in a battle of and excuse me women, because I'm gonna say it in this flippant type of way. I know postpartum is real, but I thought it was ironic for her to have the energy that she had for the amount of time that she did, for being transparent. Wasn't that her thing? And then she had to bow out on the show because she couldn't handle what she brought.
I think she was, like they said, she was being a Karen.
I would agree with that. And yes, please. So no, don't go pull her out from whatever hole she is in. Let her be with her new baby. I hope they doing well. I hope
Did she
they.
find her daddy? I can't remember.
Hmm?
Did she
Oh,
ever
I
find
don't even know. And I listen. Hopefully she did, but we don't need to hear if she. We don't need to know about it. I
Oh
hope
my
that
God.
she did though, like because that's I don't know. I can't even. I was gonna say that seemed important to her, but maybe it was only important because they was filming and she needed to film something.
I don't know. But she worked my nerves.
She worked my nerves too, and she did try to give more than Destiny, but no, she worked my nerves, honey.
I
Um,
don't like it when you bring the smoke, but they get mad when the smoke come back at you.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I found that ironic that her exit from the show was for her mental health and capacity. And listen, I'm not making fun of it or her or anything like that. I just thought it was ironic that she caused so much mental anguish, and now it's her.
She did. Because she
Like,
was trying to be the messy pot stirrer like Dr. Heavenly, but then couldn't take it when it came back on her. And I
mm-hmm.
need you to stand in it.
And see that, and I feel like that's what they don't like about Mel. I think that's what they I feel like going to just hopping over to Real Housewives of Potomac. I think that's what bothers people about Giselle. Like sometimes you do have to just be a person that don't care
Mm-hmm.
and don't give a F, because if you do care, we're gonna know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like in T Tiffany, because she tried to play like she didn't, but
She was falling apart, honey.
rightfully so, because who asked you for this? Like, who asked you to come around doing this to these people that you don't even know?
I guess she figured that's gonna be my role. I'm gonna be the
Bone
heavenly
collector.
yes 3.0. Then when she came in and asked Sheree about their sex life,
Get out of line. But
and then
that's what did in one of I love this in one of Cat Williams old specials. Y'all tell me, jump down in the comments if y'all remember this. She was a habitual line crosser.
she was, and
A
then
habitual line stepper, always stepping over the line, honey.
and got mad when Martell called her out on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then made
Mm-hmm.
like they were just like was gonna do something. I was like, why she gonna? Don't play the games if you can't play the game.
That's it. That's the lesson of the day, Sunny and Destiny, and and the rest of y'all that want to come on the show or think you gonna have now. Let's talk about Stormy. Now, I feel like we did agree that we believe Stormy is going to be the special guest next week.
Uh-huh.
Reason why I think it's Stormy, I think I told you already, was because she had an abrupt exit from the girls' trip. Of course, we know she subsequently quit the show after that. But then that's like I said, it's only reasonable that it would be her as the special guest because we do want to know what made you. Well, I know what made her leave that trip, but it was so abrupt and rude. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like it. I didn't like her or Trish the way that they left. Left that day like that. And then she introduced Trish to us. I mean, yeah, she needs to come back and hear some of this because no, you didn't leave us with this basket case. Uh
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't want to. Hopefully, Trish gets the memo. Go back and look at the scenes and try to correct herself a little bit.
guess what she gonna say? Yeah, I don't, and that was what was pissing me off too. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. That's what she gonna say.
I don't know, but
And it was pissing her off too. That was making her mad. Yeah. What was making you mad, girl? Anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Stormy. I cannot imagine any other person. and for any other reason. Like it can't be some random person from somebody else's show. Like I don't even know why that would
Yeah.
be the case. You know what I mean?
And maybe on this, you wanted to talk about Kiki.
Right. So we did like so somebody mentioned that, and because of the time frame, we know she passed in July um of 23, right? Is that
No,
right?
2024, honey.
24. Okay, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. 24. Um, and we know the reunion is filmed in October, was filmed in October. Now, somebody kind of said that during the episode, there was an episode that aired at the time frame of her passing, and that they had like a
A quick
rest in
thing.
peace
Yeah.
message. Yeah, then
Mhm.
I don't remember if they did or didn't.
It was quick.
Okay, it was quick. Okay, because I even went back and watched old episodes, and I don't remember seeing it
Yeah, it
then.
was real quick. I can't remember if it was at the beginning or end, but it was on there.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
but now what do we think? Like nobody talked about it at all. Is it only me that find that a little bit strange?
I wonder if the family wants it talked about. Maybe trying to be respectful of their wishes. Since she wasn't on the show at the time of her demise.
But she was though, because if we are
She was.
well, the reason why I say but she was because I'm trying to so let's okay. So the season started with Martell going to jail. So she did not start this last season with them. Okay, you're right. Okay. Um, but I
She was
don't
on
know.
the season prior because didn't she get in trouble
Yeah, exactly.
from that
So
Home
that's
Depot?
what I'm kind of saying to myself with Tisha being your cousin, like, and then there being other relationships on the show. Like she came on because Mel invited her to her Christmas party. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but maybe you're right. Maybe the family just asked them not to.
because
I
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure if they didn't, I believe they would have said something probably at the first part of the reunion. I would imagine they would have, but I think that being at the way that she did die, and they don't know if she, if it was accident or some people say was it on purpose. I heard that the family, the life insurance was taken back or something. I'm not sure. Or they couldn't get it because maybe it was still in that window if it would have been considered
It might still
suicide.
be being undetermined or something. Yeah.
So, and then being, that she already had an addiction.
Yeah.
So, probably, maybe for her children's sake, they don't want to bring that kind of stuff in there. Because
Maybe not. Yeah.
you have
Maybe.
somebody in there want to stir the pot.
Yeah, and maybe like you said, maybe it's a way more so to not have it be, like social media fodder, for
Yeah,
everybody to get on and try to dissect through commentary and reviews and stuff. So maybe that's the reason why it feel a little cold to me.
yeah, but that took
That's how them jobs do you though, honey. Like, so listen,
well, must you don't stop the show.
yeah, right. That's the listen. That's the lesson of the day, honey. These companies take the vacation because these companies just gonna move right on without you.
That's right. And keep it moving like you wouldn't there. They ain't mentioned her name at all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe they may throw her picture up at the end. I don't know.
Maybe we'll have to wait and see, child.
Yeah, they may not have her picture. They might say in love and memory and have her name on there
Yeah,
in the
right,
credits.
right. Now, what do we think? I know there's been some talk about Carlos as a host, and a lot of Mel's grievance that she expressed on that live had a lot to do with production and her superior, which I can only assume that that's Carlos King. What do we think? Do we think that he should not be hosting the reunions? Do we think that he has a form of messiness that maybe blurs lines between his job and his castmates, or his because they're not his castmates, but his cast, I guess.
So, is she speaking about the messy Mondays?
I think she was. I do. I believe she was referencing two things. I do believe because there was a point before now, and it seemed like this is the first time we started to see some of her subliminal messaging. But he did do a messy Monday, and it seemed to me that she didn't care for. And I can't, because the stuff be going on so fast. I can't remember exactly
Well,
what the subject matter was in that messy Monday,
the
but it
one,
seemed like she got a little pissy after that because we started seeing reports that she had unfollowed him.
well, the one messy Monday that she was upset about, which stopped Dr. Heavily from doing the messy Mondays, because she said the millimeters were coming.
Oh yeah, she
At
did
her
say they
job.
showed up at her job.
And I thought it was lighthearted, funny. It wasn't nothing bad. Basically, Dr. Heavenly said what she said, and Martell would F anybody. Why don't he go ahead and mess with Dr. whatever? What's the big lady name? That's Melody's friend.
Oh, Sharita.
Yeah. Then it was like, no, that's her friend. Okay. And then she said that Melody need her own show because she don't like none of them bitches.
Okay, I do remember seeing that one too. Okay.
So I didn't see anything where Dr. Heavenly was just going so hard at Melody, because basically she, to me, took up for her, because she said, because how could she be on the show where these women sided with her husband who cheated on her?
See, do you think that Dr. Heavenly has the same issue with her cast about her YouTube. You know what I mean? And if he is the boss, it does seem like maybe, hey honey, quite possibly. Did you get your desk? Where you get it from? Okay. Sorry, y'all. Mm-hmm. It does seem like quite possibly it can create a hostile work environment for your boss to be doing YouTube reviews on your show, even if he's not the one saying anything. Because what we notice about what he do, especially with Love and Marriage Huntsville, is he has somebody else on.
Yeah.
Now he might, chime in here and there about very general things. And I do feel like there was a point where we knew him and Mel probably had some type of friction between each other, because I feel like Mel must have told him something like, keep my name out your mouth, because it seems like he avoids saying her name.
Okay.
And listen, because I'm petty. Like somebody tell me something like keep my name out your mouth, then I'm gonna keep your name out my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not for nothing. That's probably the reason why I kind of notice it. And then they did a recorded show because he had the live show this past Monday. That was what I really paid attention to, because that was particularly the show where I wanted to see if he would address her announcement.
I haven't seen that one. Is that on his YouTube?
It is, yeah. Okay. And so with that being said, that's the reason why I was like listening out, you know what I mean? And so he probably referenced her and maybe did say her name in a very roundabout way, but it was only like once. And so what he did not address her exit directly. What he addressed was saying that, like, kind of letting the audience know, he said this before, about not letting social media be what determines their content for this show. And that there's like tried to explain like the world of television, which I kind of understood him in a way. He was saying like not everybody understands how television works, and the reason why certain things can't be addressed, at certain times, and why things are not being spoken about because there's contracts. He said, and I respect my boss. I thought that was a small little dig, right? To
Mm.
I Because remember I said too, I don't understand what kind of contracts these people have in which we see them kind of go live and do a lot of stuff that you don't see in other shows, and really that is because they're bound by a contract. That's why Dr. Heavenly had to take her stuff over to Patreon, even though, like she said, it ain't helping because all somebody got to do is record it and go post it anyway. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But so I thought that was a dig at Mel because he said, and I respect my bosses. So what his insinuation is that it is going to be addressed. We just ain't gonna see it till the summertime, y'all, because if they filming right now, we got at least 6 or 7 months before we gonna start watching these episodes that they filming. So
Yeah.
to me, that was his roundabout way of addressing. And listen, when you don't watch these shows, you know it. When you watch these shows for so long, and not for nothing, I grew up on reality TV. I was a person that watched The Real World from second season. I went and rewatched the first season, but I didn't watch the end. But that second season, I went in, watched it, and I was hooked. I'm not watching
Really?
Big Brother. I don't watch a lot of stuff on CBS, just to be clear. So whatever shows they got going on over there, I haven't really watched them. And I don't know why. I don't know why. It just for some reason works out that way. um, I watched The Bachelor in its early seasons. That's not something I watch anymore. But again, Real World was my first introduction, and everything else after that, I just wanted to watch. I consider myself a people watcher. I think
Oh.
that's probably why, and I like to see behaviors. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like going back to the real world. Yeah, let's see what happened when people stop being nice and start being real. Like that was real stuff. And the difference with the real world is they were recorded 24 hours. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like they had no privacy, not in the way that we see reality TV today with call sheets and you know what you're about to go and film and like and there is this production to everything going on. So with that being said, there is some understanding about what you're viewing. And then at the time it was done, like, and then where you are in real time. So that's kind of what he addressed. And so it sounded like I said, without him directly mentioning it, because um, he did not directly admit to saying that Mel is gone and he heard the whatever, which of course we know he does and everything, but he did say everything is being going to be addressed. But his main point was like, y'all just have to understand how TV work, and so. But I'm saying, so do you think it's problematic for him to have his messy Mondays and cover his own shows? He had two
Uh,
people quit. Well, like kid, like do you watch Bell Collective? But the
I
girl,
see.
IKEA quit right on the live, girl. I
Yeah.
can't see.
He was so gagged.
Everybody was. They was like, and look,
It was,
and we all pressing our shit like this something.
well,
Mm-mm. But yeah, they running amok over there at Kingdom Reign. Let's just say that he need to get the reins pulled in on them mother suckers.
well, I think that if he's talking about the show, because I think maybe if he's doing the messy Mondays with the cast, maybe it stung a lot when it was with Dr. Heavenly because she has no filter. And because she called Destiny broke. She said everybody been in jail over there. What the hell is going?
And they have.
Yes, and then you know, I
It
don't know.
started to be love and lockup.
Yes, I enjoyed it though. It was good, but I think maybe yes, as being the boss, maybe you might feel away.
I
You
feel
know.
like what we tend to, at least I'll speak personally. What I tend to like from Carlos King is I like what he does that what Andy doesn't. Andy, but I guess this is why Andy is able to keep most of the girls in line. Also, it's like he doesn't really cross these lines per se to where he's questioning, any like I feel like when we get to his reunions, it's always we're not gonna get to the bottom of this. He kind of like let them go for what they can. He asks certain questions, but he doesn't really press, and he doesn't really back up, like, and sometimes I know for me watching him during Housewives, it can be frustrating because here we are sitting with the executive producer. So some things that these people saying, like, how are you letting them just get away with, saying that because you know the answer? You know what I mean? So I do appreciate that part of Carlos at least hosting the reunions. I don't know if it's a I don't know if it's a healthy work environment for him to do reviews. But I also think now I'm a drag Mel into this because I think this is a lesson that Mel had to learn because I do like I work corporate. I don't fraternize with my manager and supervisors, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, like, we can be friendly, we can do work things together, but you generally are not going to be invited to my personal stuff.
Yes.
And the reason why, for me, it don't have nothing to do with whether I like you or not. It's just more so about keeping the line clear. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, because once you start to look at your superior like your friend, I think it's hard to accept uh direction, criticism, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is that's got to come down the line from that superior. Once you think y'all friends, it's going to be hard for you to accept that. And vice versa. You know what I mean? Like once you my friend, I might speak to you in a way that maybe you would, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, you wouldn't prefer as a superior. So I just like for me, I'm a right wrong type of person. I don't really live in the gray area.
So
Um,
that is basically the situation with Destiny and Sunny. Then the lines were crossed from work to friendship, whereas Destiny felt like she was a friend and let Sunny tell it. No, I was just on my job.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying about Mel. I think she found herself in that same position with Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
You built this rapport and almost friendship with this person, but not realizing that the job he has to do might necessarily go against your best interests.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so then you're gonna be mad about it. You know what I mean? Like when it happened.
Yeah, because because she has to know the people when they're coming in to see. Because I guess whatever they pitch was going to be like a home remodeling show, right? So then he said, no, we're going to do it this direction and then get your group of friends or whatever. So they know mess sells. Because if it's not messy, we're not really watching it. Other than that, we're going to watch documentaries. I love documentaries.
I did.
But other than that, most people would say it's boring. It's boring. There's no storyline. This and that is boring, because if we just showing Black excellence and them going out to the job sites, doing this and that, them negotiating deals, nobody's watching. They
Mm-hmm.
watch because Mel and Martell had a whole destructive marriage going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And then from all the other things there. So I don't know. I can see her being upset somewhat, but when this is the kind of business you're in, mess sells. And so since she quit, is she still like one of the producers still, or what?
I'm not sure. Her not being on the show doesn't not mean that she can't still, because Mariah still has her executive producer credit for Married to Medicine. So doesn't mean that she doesn't keep her credit. I guess we have to wait and see, because that would be another thing about Ariane coming on. The rumor mill had been that it, because, and we know Carlos is messy as hell, so we know if it was up to Carlos, Ariane would be on the show. But it had always been Mel from the rumor mill that blocked it in the laundry room. That blocked that. So even with her being gone, if she still get the executive producer credit, I don't know if that means they still would abide by not having Ariane on. I don't know. Yeah, that's a toughie, and I can't see her giving it up, because if she can keep the credit, why not? Like, it is your show, you executive produce. I wouldn't walk away from.
So is Martell executive producer too?
Both of them are named. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Both of them are named. I did notice that.
Okay. Well, I would have, if they was gonna have Ariane on it, I would have liked it if Mel would have been there. Honestly, I would have. I mean, shoot, they got Sweet Tea and Quad on there, and even though Sweet Tea was no side chick, but if I'm going to see Ariane on the screen, because she's gonna take digs at Mel. Mel, Mel gonna be on do a YouTube? Or, no, she'll do YouTube. She gonna do a TikTok and talk about her while she packaging up her stuff. I'd rather see them, if they're gonna bring that story to life and bring Ariane on there. I think Mel should be in there, because other than that, she's gonna run amok, say what all she wants to say about Mel, and then we won't be able to get a rebuttal from Mel at all.
Now, do you think? I don't know if that'll work, because that go back to, like I said, I do think this cast has a loyalty and a respect to each other, just because they started together, and is there a world where Ariane is talking crap about Mel to Kimmy or Tisha? I don't think so.
She might be doing it with Martell.
Oh, well, that Martell is a little gossip bunny his own self. So, like, that's
it would be it wouldn't probably be, it wouldn't be the other
that's what I'm
member.
saying. Like,
it'll be Martell or Destiny.
Like, they doing talking to each other like that. And they go back to why, it's too little too late to bring Ariane on. Because then here we are at the same in this same position where you're still using Mel and Martell as the focal point of the show. And I feel like her point in leaving is to let that part go.
Yeah. So
I don't see a world where that's gonna. Now, not to say they wouldn't try, but it ain't gonna fly. Like,
because it seems like anytime Destiny gets a chance, she's bringing up Mel.
She is obsessed. Well, and going back to that, she gonna bring up anybody to not talk about her own stuff. Again, she's like Phaedra.
Okay, yeah.
She like Phaedra, and for that, that's another reason why I don't like her, and why, again, she has been on this show far longer than she ever should have been.
At least Phaedra films at her house.
Well, but I'm saying with the personal, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but you're right. She give us a little something. She show us her kids. You know what I mean? She give us a little something. So you're right about that. But it's just like it's more that personal story. And I feel like reality people really don't get that, especially with these formats. Like, Phaedra did really well on Traders. And I think because Traders does not depend on a personal story for you. You know what I mean? So so you was able to play that game and and do well in that. You know what I mean? But when we go to, Housewives of Atlanta, Married to Medicine, Love and Mirrors, these things, like, you have to give some of yourself. And if you're not willing to, Trish, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna get the audience to like you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, y'all. You're not gonna get the audience to like you, and that, like, that's what I'm saying. Who is responsible for asking Destiny back? I want them fired. Like, what is wrong with that person?
Well, they asked her back because they wanted Sonny on there. Because Sonny and Moses would not have done nothing if, I mean, it wouldn't have stung as bad.
I feel like we could have come. I feel like Sonny and Moses could have come on this show without Destiny.
No, because people would have wanted to see Destiny's reaction though.
What did we get? What did we get with that happening though? We didn't get a damn nowhere. We got nowhere. No, for real. Absolutely nowhere. And yeah, and with Destiny being there, what is it that we were supposed to get? We didn't get anything.
Uh-huh.
Now, fudge the timeline, when we got to the girls' trip, Destiny said the man was still texting her up until this point. That was after they had got married. Sonny blew it off like, well, he just felt bad for you. Like, yeah. Like, well, okay. You know what I mean? Like, again, they would have done much better without Destiny there. I feel like that was the downfall. Because even with Sonny having, like I said, that energy she had, it was just all wrong. You know what I mean? But she could have had that energy without Destiny being there. And maybe we would have been like, oh, okay, you know what I mean?
No. I'd have been like, why are you here?
I think I still would have been too.
Because Moses is not Black excellence.
At all. That's what, like I said, that's what I said. She described a womanizer. She described a womanizer telling you the truth about all his women. Like that.
Hey, wait a minute. He was such a womanizer. He don't got no kids.
He don't have no kids. I call him, so like I said, I just tell the truth about stuff. A womanizer is a man with multiple partners. That's what she described. That's what she said when she told Destiny she was a side chick. And she was only coming back and forth to St. Louis to get crack. That's a womanizer then. If that's what he told you his relationship was with Destiny, and if he told you that he was dating other women at the same time, then you're married to a womanizer.
So question, where did Destiny and Moses meet?
Well, she said they had known each other. So I think is she from St. Louis? Did she live in St. Louis for a little bit of time?
She's from Detroit.
Okay, then. Because remember when her and Tiffany was into it? Tiffany gave her a little dig, and so she was like, "Oh, is this the Detroit coming out?" And she said, "Oh, or is it St. Louis or Atlanta?" Like she was making a dig about these different places.
Okay.
Destiny have lived, yeah. But she said that they had known each other for 15 years. So at some point, high school, college, something like that, they were friends. Now let Sonny tell it,
and I guess some people dang go college. He ain't go to college. Yeah, like he dropped out of 8th grade, I think.
You right. I'm sorry. You right. I was
the hell. His college is the penitentiary. What you talking about?
Well, that's what they used to tell the people when they were going away.
He getting his master's, honey.
Right. But and so that's what Sonny come up with. Like, well, I guess she feel like they was having sex on and off for all of this time. We don't really know again, because Destiny gives us nothing. We don't really know the extent of what their relationship really was.
Mhm.
Which is why I said it seemed to me that he was Destiny's sneaky link. And I thought, and maybe Lance was trying to be the next sneaky link, but Nell let that cat out the bag. So now Destiny got to pretend that she liked him, when she just wanted to, keep him for the sneaky link. And that's what, to me, that's what I gathered from Moses. Like, I think that was just Destiny's little sneaky link.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she probably was flying out to St. Louis to get her back cracked. That's the point of having a sneaky link.
Yep.
That don't nobody know about. You know what I mean? Like, that is the point. So that's why I'm saying with Sunny, go back to her. Yeah, him telling you all of this, you didn't put two and two together. I wouldn't date him. Like, that's not the type of man I want, like that type of caliber. And for me, like, I feel like I had to come to these realizations because I've met men like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That whole, like, you meet men and they, well, you don't want to commit and you don't want to be in a relationship and let's just see how this goes. All of that little stuff to me is just a reason for you to be running around with multiple women. But I
Yeah.
also have this thing about men. If you if you have this need to have multiple women around, or do all of this stuff, then it says something to me about your self-esteem. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, I just don't get down with people with stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Mhm.
And so that makes her not a smart, secure woman.
Not to me. Not to me. Like, not to me. And here, and like, I try to give grace, because for me, I know that women sometimes, we sometimes make bad choices in the end. Like, it happens. You know what I mean? So okay, she's made a bad choice for her husband. Hopefully they last a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say on that end. Hopefully they do. But from what I gather, I can see. And again, we're gonna go back to the fact that he is in prison, that he does have to finish out his time. He had to go to prison before they was even married for a year. So let's just talk about the fact that he really just love bombed her.
Yeah.
So she never even got a chance for him to even show up and prove who he was to her.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she holding on to he wanted to come on the show because he said he wanted to protect me. Well, I never saw him protect you. I never saw that. What I saw, that wasn't protection. What are we,
Mm.
you know what I mean? What it seemed like is y'all just wanted to show up and show, like, yeah, we together. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm the wife. I'm the wife. I'm the wife. Okay, you
Yeah.
the wife, girl, to a damn loser. Like, that's like beyond me. Like, who's sitting around jealous of this?
Yeah, because he's not worth fighting over. He's not. Not when I'm supposed to be looking at Black Excellence. Now we looking at some hood ratchet shit, maybe Love and Hip Hop or something. But this, I mean, I he said on the interview he only, or either one, somebody said in the interview he's only went to the ninth grade.
I think you're right. I believe you are right, because like I said, he spent 15 years in
Years
prison.
in prison.
Yeah, so, and here we go with another thing. You know what I
So wait
mean?
a
Like,
minute, how old is he? How old is he?
I don't know, but somebody, look, who know how old Moses is? Somebody on here should know. Tell us. Tell us how old he is.
Could he be
But
younger than
all
Destiny?
of these things, in my opinion, should have been a factor. And like I said, Destiny probably just had him as a sneaky link. Destiny probably didn't know if it was gonna go serious or not. But I feel like those could have been things that Destiny was taking into consideration. You know, like this man has been incarcerated for 15 years. How do you think you about to? We watch Love and well, I don't know if you do. I watch Love After Lockup. You know, and these people, like, you think you get somebody who's been incarcerated for 15 years, and now you're gonna have him come out and turn into, you know, like the model husband? He ain't even lived life. That's like nobody even takes the time to think about that type of adjustment. It's like going, it's like military, you know, and going into civilian. That's an adjustment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They said she couldn't help who she fell in love with. He would have never been in the. He wouldn't have been nowhere near the in the rat race of me to fall in love with some jailbird like that.
That's right. That's what, like you said. She what we let me see. I don't understand, huh? Okay, honey, have fun. Be careful. You taking the car? Okay. Sorry, y'all. I was trying to see if I missed any of the other comments. I think I didn't. But yeah, she said you can't help who you fall in love with. And now, you know, I know that we say that. You know, I know that that's a popular thing to say and think. But like I said, the truth for me really is I think you do choose who you give your love to. I think you do. I think you decide who you spend time with. I think, you know
Exactly.
what I mean? I think you do have control over that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, we all have like that's why I use some of the terms and terminology that I use. Like they got married in 90 days, so he love bombed you, showed you all of this stuff, you know, in 90 days. And I think that she feels so much, you know, validation about the 90 days. Because let's go back to Steve Harvey's book. What is it? Act Like a Lady, Think Like a
Like a
Man.
man.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, everybody got on the 90-day kick, you know, from that book. Because his suggestion about waiting 90 days of dating a guy before you kind of go further or get intimate. It was something to that effect with the man. I mean, it's a great point because
Yeah,
to
because
his
she's only
point,
met his representative. She don't know who the
right, and
real
that's
person
what
is.
he said. He said even your job, and he's right. That's what I said. It was a great point. You start working at a company, you have some type of probationary period. You
Yeah.
know, like that. You have to stay, not call off and not do these things. You know, like to in order to stay on. You know, and so that was his theory about like how to weed out. You know, like the losers from the non-losers when you dating. You know, like is give them this 90-day rule.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say about before you get intimate and do these things with them. And so it's a great point. Not to say that it's foolproof, obviously, but like I said, I do feel like that's why she held on to this 90-day thing. But now, like I say, that Steve Harvey's book came out in what, early 2000s or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so now here we are in 2025, and so we know other things about the way people operate, like love bombing, like gaslighting, like the, you know, stuff like that. And so the thing with love bombing, which is where Sunny, poor baby, she just so lost and she's so wrapped up in it. But like I said, it's clear that she has a biological clock that's ticking. You know what I mean? She wants to get married, she want to have a family. And so anybody who was willing to offer that to you, she was going to jump at it. He just happened to be the one that offered it. And
Yeah.
so here she is, still not pregnant, husband in jail, and she collecting money for his books.
She is.
Well, yeah, I saw it go across her screen that she had her cash app up, and she was. Now, listen, she might have been trying to make a little funny, but we just not gonna play. We're not gonna play like we know he got to have some money on his books. You his wife. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you're taking your money and putting your money on his books. Of course, you're taking your money and paying your phone down so he can call, call you and
I
stuff.
thought she was supposed to be secure and supposed, he was coming for a come up. Should she have money?
Well, she's a producer, so like we know that she produced on this show, but she's done other, producers are kind of like freelancers. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so I know even just listening to her live, because I don't know what her resume is, outside of this show, but listening to her and then on her Instagram profile, she has like BET on, like some of the companies that she worked for. But more recently, she's probably doing a few things with Tubi, Tubi. And I heard that YouTube is doing something like the Tubi 2.0. It seemed like they're going to be where they offering opportunities, for creators
Yeah,
to.
my cousin got a couple movies on Tubi.
Okay, yeah. So right. So it's that same thing. So she, has done stuff with that. Listen, I don't know how well things like that pay, but I can only assume that you might be doing a little something for yourself. She it's not like she's some single mom, you know what I mean, with this slew of kids or anything to take care of. So I can imagine that she's in a better position than Destiny. I'm just saying. I can imagine that. Yeah. And I think that aids to her attitude towards Destiny.
Mm.
Kind of knowing that. You know what I mean? Like say he sent her money and she say, "Oh well, he felt bad for you." You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, she not nobody to him. She just a sneaky link. She just his side chick. She don't have no kids by him. So you sit back freely and let him just send her money?
And probably your money.
Well, at this point, it don't matter now, right?
Yeah, cause she the wife.
Right.
I
And what's
don't
yours
know.
is mine, including this restitution and debt he got. But I don't know.
Yes, from
I'm
the
just
fraud.
saying that. But but I'm pointing out just like the level of which you were so desperate to marry somebody. You waited all this time to get married, and this is who you married? I'm sure. I wonder where her parents said and what they had to say.
Okay, that's kind of like Phaedra.
And and I would say this: at least Phaedra was younger than her.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. She's in her 30s, but yeah. Look, lying, talk about. Remember when they was asking her how far along she was?
Yes, girl. Wasn't that the worst? Like, you are sitting here talking to women who have given birth. Like, you're not talking to nobody who don't know no better. And see that, and that's why I couldn't be on TV, because I would never be able to sit around somebody like that. I wouldn't be able to have no conversation with somebody who did that. I'd be sitting up here looking at them upside their head. And then I'm the type of person who I would ask them questions just so I could get them to repeat. You know what I mean? So, because I want to know, do you hear yourself?
You sound stupid. When
Yeah.
Nene said just stupid, just shut up.
Like, shut up. Right. Don't you tell nobody else that.
Oh, Lord.
Well,
Well,
guys, I think we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. It is 6:53. Well, we're not watching the Super Bowl. So
no, no.
listen,
When did it start?
uh,
It's already on?
I don't even know. Like,
I'm sitting up in this closet.
I just assume that it comes on. I feel like a pre-show might start about 6:30-ish,
Oh, okay.
7:30-ish, something like that. I don't know. Y'all drop down in the comments if y'all want to tell me. Go ahead and tell me. But y'all know I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Um, because I can sit on here and talk to y'all some more about some other stuff. But make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to our
I'm putting
page,
it and I'm
Word on the
yeah.
Curb. Okay, we are going to do some more collabs coming up in the future. Make sure you hit that bell notification button so you can be notified whenever we do another live or post new content. Of course, we're gonna wrap up Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion next week with part 3. You can catch us again, but you're gonna need to be subscribed, honey, because I don't know right now if it's gonna be Sunday or Monday or what. Um, so make sure y'all subscribed. Okay, make sure y'all subscribe. We will bring you a recap of Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Potomac. That's on Mondays with my other collab, Housewives from a Housewife. And then all 3 of us will be getting together to review Real Housewives of Atlanta. Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming back March 9th. Yay. We have missed them. But we will be coming back with a 3-part collab, and it'll be myself, Word on the Curb, and Housewives from a Housewife. So if you enjoy our recaps, if we make y'all laugh and some more, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all the fun. Okay. I enjoy having y'all here with us this Sunday. I appreciate everybody that jumped in the comments and had something to add to the conversation. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Word on the Curb. I don't know if y'all getting ready to watch Super Bowl, but whatever you're doing, enjoy, be safe, eat good. And what you got, Word on the Curb?
Nothing.
Word on the Curb ain't got a word for you.
No, this has been very interesting. I like your point of view and your perspective on different things because it makes me rethink a lot of things. And I enjoyed this. But as far as the show goes, I'm glad it's coming to a close. It's been a long ass season.
It has, and really, we had 2 years. I feel like, or at least a whole year since we started.
It was long. Oh my God, no, I thought that was a long time ago, but I enjoyed it. I can't wait till Roa comes, and then I'll be doing lives to recapping Married to Medicine also, and then I do a live that but I kind of go over just the hot topics and a little politics too.
Okay, you know I can't do the politics.
I know that. Girl, I'm only doing the little
my mental health. Okay,
the little short snippets, girl, just very short. Because yeah, I can't stand to hear his voice. I really can't. But it's I know it's some things that are coming up in April, and then there's also not really political, but how people are talking about doing the blackout on February the 28th.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's with they want to show that the people are the ones with the power, not the big CEOs and
that's correct. And we are, one thing I will say is I, have that type of mentality that if we get to a position where we decide to take care of each other, you can kind of knock out some of those other factors. If with that, so I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that because they were saying if you're going to buy anything that day, make sure it's at a small business. Yeah, locally owned small business. But as far as these big conglomerates, especially the ones that did away with the DEI, that's the day.
The suggestion, everybody, if you're still listening, make sure you're doing your grocery shopping and stuff before then. Because one thing I feel like is not be like, and so that would be great. So make sure we following Word on the Curb so we can get some more information about this blackout, and maybe there is an actual plan. Because one thing for me, just to be quite clear, I'm down for the people always, but I'm not about to put a whole lot of thought into where I go get my tissue from. You know what I'm saying? Like if I need to go get tissue, I'm going to get tissue. And that's just it. Like I'm not about to, wait 3 to 5 days for tissue. Like, but if we have a plan that seems reasonable and feasible, then I'm all for it and I'm all for participating in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we are missing in some of this stuff. Because again, even with the DEI people, some of those companies letting it go, and we us feeling
Yeah, it's
the
like
way we
everybody.
feel about it. Right, that's what it means. It's like, well, where are we supposed to shop then?
Go
You know what I
exactly.
mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I need tissue, if I need paper towels, if I need, laundry soap, because I'm talking about these little things that you don't go to a small business to get. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So we need a plan for that.
Yeah, because I even seen a company, a black company that sells laundry soap.
Okay.
I have to get that information, but I thought, oh, and this lady had put together a whole list of all these different black companies where you can shop at and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that the whole purpose of that blackout is to show that, hey, the middle to lower class people are the ones who runs the economy.
It's too bad they don't run the damn votes, but let me keep that information to myself.
Yes. So it's, that's the day. And I think Bishop, is it Bishop? I don't know. The one that was married to Jamal,
Pastor Jamal Bryant.
And he's I think come the month of March, I think their thing was he's going to give out more information, but to not go to Target at all in that month. I'm not a big Target shopper anyways. If they say Kroger's, I'm going to have a problem for real. That's just right around the street, up the corner. So,
yeah,
I think that we do have, if we lay down and take it, then they're going to give it to us, So we have to find some way that we can kind of stand up for ourselves and try to.
But can I just say, like, that was why you were supposed to show up and vote. That was.
Yeah, I did, honey.
Right, and when I'm saying us as a people, like, you know what I mean. Like, so, like, we have to get people to start correlating the things you want to see change with voting for the change. Stupids,
exactly. And also, there are 3 House seats that are up before April 1st because Trump had picked his the people to be in his cabinet from the House. So there's 3 special elections. And with those 3 seats, they're seemingly thinking that the Democrats can take 2, and then it'd be tied. If they take the 3rd one, then of course the House will be Democrat. So then a lot of the things, but that's some of the things I've been looking at. But girl, I can't.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely. I would love for you to keep me abreast, and as we get together and do more lives, then maybe you can incorporate some of that for the audience, because I'm okay with that stuff. I just can't talk about some of this other stuff. And like I said, y'all, it's really to protect my mental health.
Girl, exactly.
Sometimes have me ready to jump through the TV on that sometimes. Okay.
I said, it's like what Ply says. Ply said the man put out a tweet, and then the Democrat just do everything he said on the tweet. He said, "Don't you got your own thing to think about? Let's not talk about what he's talking about, because he's talking about
where
this."
I'm at.
Yes.
Y'all know.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at too. I can't really handle, it far as 47.
Yeah, my
so
little light.
I have to go through it, figure out the things I do want to talk about, and not everything, because it's exhausting.
Yeah, it is mentally. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Because I've checked out. So I think that's one of the reasons why I don't want to watch the game, because he's going to be there. So the spotlight's going to be on him.
And I am 1000% with you. Like, listen, I ain't even thought about it.
And I'll catch the replay of the
Super Bowl halftime show.
Halftime, yeah.
I'm with you on that. And not for nothing, I do like Kendrick Lamar, but listen, I'm a Beyonce stan. Beyonce has me very spoiled about performances and things like that. So to be quite honest, I don't even have an expectation for what type of show he gives, just because he not dancing it. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. So I'm okay with seeing the replay.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it.
Maybe he might have some dancers out there.
Yeah.
I hope he does that.
Look, I'm sure he is. It's a whole football field you got to try to
Yes,
entertain.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Hopefully, you have like the black marching bands out there and stuff.
well, you know, and I did think about that. I'm like, with him being in New Orleans, I
Oh
hope
yeah.
that was kind of some of the idea. I said maybe he'll incorporate some of the bands and some of that type of deal. So again, I don't need to see it live though. I'm okay with watching it, you know, the next day or whatever clips it
Yeah,
is that's coming
yeah, the
up
clips.
tonight.
I'm like, oh, I should have watched it.
No, I'm gonna go in here and finish watching The Average Joe. That's what I got caught up on watching that. I know I'm late to the party, but I do kind of like it. I think I only got about 3 more episodes to go, but that's what
What?
I'm gonna finish doing. Eat some tacos and
Why
finish.
do I know that? The Average Joe, is that like I kind of
It's a
remember.
sitcom,
Okay,
and so or a series, I should say, with Dion Cole.
okay.
And I don't
He's
know if
sick right now.
yeah, I saw. Well, hopefully he doing better because I think I saw it was around the fires and stuff. Like he had to go to the hospital. Then
He
he
was like
got
in renal
out.
failure.
Huh?
I thought he was like in renal failure.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, but I know he had gotten out. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
then he had to evacuate his house. Like, yeah, it's a lot going on with him right now. In this time frame. But we're gonna keep him. We're gonna pray that everything is going well with him as
I
of
would pray
now.
about that.
Oh, and if anybody interested, I will be posting my review for Luther Vandross. Never Too Much. It is finally on Max. It came on
It was on CNN first. I saw it on there.
right. It came CNN on New Year's Eve, right?
Something like that. I
Yeah,
don't remember.
something New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, one of those. But I didn't realize it was just live CNN. So everybody who had to wait for for it to go on demand, it's on Max
I
now.
think it's on OWN too.
Yeah, that so on is on Max also.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if you as far as the streaming.
Oh,
So I use a lot of streaming services like Philo, and then like your different
so
Netflix and
is Max? Is that the HBO Max or is another Max?
yes, yes.
Okay.
So HBO Max and Cinemax partnered together, and yes, so it's now just Max instead of HBO Max. Um,
Okay.
and so yes, it is on demand. I did watch it earlier. I will probably watch it again because fun fact, Luther Vandross is one of my favorite singers. And I know I'm young, y'all. And the funny thing is, it's not from my mother. Like I literally just loved his music. Like
Okay.
yeah, from the first time, and I like have always loved him. I was in high school talking about Luther Vandross is my favorite.
Now, look, when I was in high school, what was that? What was out there? Wait, I was in ninth grade, and I think it was chance wait for love with you. That whatever song
Yeah.
that is. That was big when I was in the ninth grade.
Mhm.
I graduated in 90.
Okay, I graduated in '98.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, his music was like the soundtrack of of my life, anyways.
I
I can
mean, and
remember.
like I am a hopeless romantic, and it's funny. I probably, even though I don't think I was willing to admit that until now. I think I never thought of myself that way, but it's funny that everybody else could see me that way. Like, and I remember my English teacher being a person that pointed it out to me out of like I don't know. I wrote a story or a paper or something, and she, referenced me. She said, "Oh, you're a hopeless romantic," and I thought, "Am I?" Because I don't really think of myself that way. Like, and go back and listen to this review. Y'all wouldn't hear y'all. I don't think y'all heard me feel like I was a hopeless romantic because I think I'm a realist also. But I absolutely love. I love love. I love the idea, and that's just in general. And so yeah, I just found that I just always liked his music. Like, and I think it has a lot to do with him just always talking about love.
Yes.
Um,
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and let me just say this. I am very satisfied with the documentary. I
Yeah,
think
this is a
he
good
did
one.
it very well and they honored him appropriately. Uh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was on Sesame Street.
I knew that too. Like now, see, not because I saw him, but because, like I said, because I have always liked him. Somehow, I had gotten that tidbit of information. Is that how that's how he started on Sesame Street? But what's funny to me is the songs that he covered, and like covered them so well that it's like you created your own song.
Oh,
Like you
son.
just forget that it even
It
existed
existed
before
before
you.
him. Yes. I think was it probably maybe 10 years ago or something. I realized that he sung a lot of other people's songs. I'm like, God, no, no, it wasn't 10 years ago. It was what was the young man name that came out was trying to say he was the king of R&B, and then R. Kelly was like, no, I'm the king of R&B.
Oh, you talking about that guy? What's that
That was
man
singing
name? What's
everybody
that?
music.
Marquise or something?
Yeah, Jacquees, him.
Hmm.
And I was like, Luther Vandross was nothing but a Jacquees back then. I said, because I didn't realize I mean, he's written other songs, but a lot of his bigger hits were a remake of someone else's. And I didn't know
Right,
that.
right. Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
with you. I'm with you. Like it might have been a few that I, found out because I just had this way of researching different certain things, or I listened to a lot of older music, so maybe I kind of heard it. Like I remember a Dionne Warwick song, finding that out. I'm like, she sang this first, like you know what I mean? Like oh,
yeah. And
you know,
I think as a kid, I don't remember too much Dionne. I remember her, but I don't really remember any her songs really. I think what I would
hmm,
say because they wouldn't play it in my household. Rather, my daddy was a
okay,
big
okay,
Temptation type guy, so he was playing
okay.
Temptation. I thought it just came out as much as he would play.
Oh,
So
that's
I mean,
funny.
so Dionne Warwick. I think we heard like a lot of maybe Spinners, Whispers, Natalie Cole. Um,
Mhm.
that I hear not. I mean, if I did hear Dionne Warwick, I didn't know it was her. So
Okay, I got you.
yeah. So I mean, the most I remember of Dionne Warwick is her being on Solid Gold. So and that's
Okay,
she's she used to be a lot of times the guest on there singing. It seems like she was
okay,
singing. I don't know. She probably was singing her songs, but I don't remember them. I mean,
right, right.
so whatever. I know Dionne Warwick. They said she was that girl in her day. So
I always knew who she was, and I feel like I knew that. I don't know, just again, just out of like I love Michael Jackson, so maybe when they sang "We Are the World," like I
yeah, that's why
knew
we bang.
who
Yeah.
she was. You know what I mean? But it wasn't until my best friend's wedding that I knew her like more of her songs. So they got the "Say a Little Prayer for You" in that
Uh-huh.
movie, and I love that. I fell in love with that song. But again, that's how I end up figuring out like, oh, Dionne Warwick sing this. You know what I mean? But oh no, or is that Aretha Franklin? See, I'm wrong. I think that's Aretha Franklin.
I think it's Dionne Warwick.
Okay, okay, okay. It is.
Yeah, that's Dionne
Mm-hmm.
Warwick. And then what was that song? What Surround Sound that came out like last year? Maybe this time last year. Everybody was playing on their reels, and it has a part. I believe it's Dionne Warwick. Girl, I can't sing, but everybody was using that part like on TikTok on the reels, and it's a verse that Dionne Warwick has sung, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was her because I thought it was
Okay.
but it's a rap song, but it's
Okay.
surround sound. Girl, I don't know. I did a couple
Okay,
reels
I
on
don't
it.
know. Right, look, I'm waiting for you to tell me a lyric or something, but you
I
won't
can't
give me
say the
nothing.
words, girl. I don't know it. All I know is when I hear it.
Okay,
I
okay,
tell my kids, play that song I like. But I
that's
remember a
funny.
lot of people would use that in reels and on TikTok. It was real
Mhm,
popular on TikTok. This
mhm.
it's a very long rap song. I know that, but it was called Surround Sound, and I just
Okay,
can't
I'm gonna try to
think
look
of
it up
the
and see if I can find it.
you. I'm pretty sure you because they played it all over TikTok and on Facebook. I mean, that was how
Mhm,
they have those songs that kind of go viral, and it was like
mhm.
they were playing the heck out of that. and then people were bringing back some of the old songs because remember everybody was playing the Whispers, Rocksteady. And I was like, I asked my granddaughter, "What y'all doing playing Rocksteady?"
Oh yeah, now listen, and that was my soul. I'm like, so I'm gonna tell y'all another. I'm an old soul too. One of my favorite movies is Sparkle. That is another reason how I got into like researching because that soundtrack. I like fell in love with the music, with the songs that they were singing. So I went and researched like Curtis Mayfield. And so I'm saying all this to say, going back to Aretha Franklin, is the Rock Steady. Like that was one of my favorite songs. Rock Steady, baby. That's what I said now. Oh, let's call this song exactly what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is. Yeah, that's my stuff. But so I'm an old soul. I'm an old soul. But I be knowing what I'm talking about. So y'all better listen to me. Go on and click that subscribe button. Don't forget.
All right now.
All right, honey. So we're going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hit the subscribe button. Catch us tomorrow. We're going to redo our recap of Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine because we forgot to record it last week. Sorry.
What time y'all be going live tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 2.
At 2. I'll be sitting there waiting on y'all. I'll be typing in the room. I'm waiting.
Okay, and please remind us like that you are waiting because that will let us know that we have not gone live.
Okay. Because I was like, what's going on with them?
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. I saw you in the room, but I didn't. And then I just thought maybe you had something else to do, so that's why you had come back in, not realizing we didn't press live. Like we had our whole show, y'all. We did everything.
So y'all was streaming on which platform?
We wasn't streaming anywhere. We was using StreamYard still, but we hadn't pressed the button like for it to actually go. So we was just doing our thing, going on. Yes, girl, honey.
Oh,
we beginners, like, so listen.
Girl, that's like me. I be over here trying to let me find the thing. What else supposed to be? Yeah. Oh my God. I thought maybe you guys were still live like on TikTok or something else. Oh, everything was through StreamYard. Oh.
Everything, yes.
Oh, I can see why you upset. Yeah.
So I'm like, good thing is they don't have a show tonight. So we can just kind of go ahead and do that over again.
Yeah, you can incorporate everything y'all seen this week too.
Exactly.
How it's unfolding.
Exactly.
Well, all righty then. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Let's see. All right.